deserve a second opinion.
At Henyon & Walsh, it only takes a second
to schedule your free second opinion.
Go online and search for Henyon & Walsh IPC.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-390-1164. 800-390-1164. 800-390-1164.
Attention. Racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, 800-207-4545. That's 800-207-4545. Once again, that's 800-207-4545.
Hey, shh. Calm down. The show is about to start. Reese on the radio. Turn it up. Turn it up low. Turn it up loud.
It's like a dream come true.
Turn on your radio. Reese is on the radio.
Yo, let's get it.
Due to the nature of this program, discretion does not exist. It's Reese on the radio. Right now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Happy Monday. How y'all doing out there? Oh, man, it is just 7 days. Just 7 days. And yours truly will be in the nutmeg state. Give it up. I'm going to be hanging out with you. I cannot wait to be there full time, all the time. The day is counting down. I am careful. I'm making sure that I don't leave the perimeter of my house. I don't drive too far. And keeping it as simple as possible. Because I got that long trek. 31 hours on the road that we're going to span out to 2 days. So just so you know, so you understand, I will be here on Friday. The original plan was to leave Friday, to be off on Friday, and then jet out and be there by Sunday. But we had some complications, and I'm going to be here on Friday. So we will do, Roseanne and I will be on it. It'll be, the last time you'll hear from us here, all the way on the west, pretty much the center of the country. And then we will be there physically on Tuesday. So we're going to take Monday off. I would love to be there earlier and just come in on Monday. But just so we can travel, comfortably and carefully, we're going to wait it out and be there on Tuesday. Unless, of course, travel works a lot better and we end up there in that whole 9. But nonetheless, Tuesday is that when we'll be there physically. And we got a whole bunch of stuff that we need to get into. So I'm really happy to be there. Is it weird? It's like uncomfortable because I'm going to be leaving the home that I built here. And then I'm on the road and then I'll be out there with you folks. and I have to make Connecticut my home all over again, and all of you who have been rooting for us to get there, and I'm just as excited as many of you appear to be, and I can't wait. I wish I could get there, and as soon as I arrive, you're all there waiting for me so I can hug you all. I really, really mean that. I promise you, I'm not kidding when I say that. But you know what? Over time, we'll get to do that. I want to tell a quick story before I get into the opening monologue. And that is about a young woman named Priscilla. And I don't always get to talk to the people who listen to the show. They do not call in all the time. They will not write, but they listen. And sometimes out of the blue, something will come up that they are compelled to call the program or to write me an email or message on Facebook. So I'm not going to read what Priscilla wrote me, but I'll paraphrase in her paragraph. And I get this a lot, even though many people believe it's not happening. And I tell them all the time, you have no idea what this show does and why it does what it does. Priscilla sent me this. She said, gotta run to work for now. Tell your wife that we love her and we appreciate y'all being vulnerable on the show. She wrote this about Roseanne and I having a conversation about us having an argument or disagreeing because I was so embedded in work and not giving her the attention that she needed because I'm trying to be on the ball for you folks. Now, with that being said, saying that she thanked us for being vulnerable on the show, to share that, she then said this: I listen every day. I'm a listener for less than a year, and you made me a conservative. Now, I don't get these letters all the time. But when I do, I cherish them. Not because I brainwashed anybody. That's not what it is. It's not about me saying, yep, got another one. No, it isn't that. That is a vulnerable place for someone to be, to say that you changed my mind. She never called me. She never called the show. Never had a correspondence with her back and forth. She just listened to the show. And in less than a year, she changed her political view. She's saying I made her a conservative by listening to me. I don't know what she heard. I don't know when she heard. I don't know what day or what thing enlightened her. I don't know. She didn't make that clear here. But I was like, whoa, okay, all right. It feels good. Don't get me wrong. It feels good. I would love to embark on it. It's like, hey, what happened? How did this change? I'm certain it was me and a combination of other things, but it happened. And in some ways, I feel like that's why some of the people on the left do listen to the program. It's not because they're going to change their mind. It's because deep down, I think they want to hear an opposing view that sort of solidifies where they are. Listening to me says like, yeah, see, this is the reason why I'm going to stay on the left. And I'm happy for that too. That's what this show is supposed to do. It's supposed to certify your point of view. I'm just throwing a bunch of stuff out there. Not so much as playing devil's advocate. I'm just throwing ideas out there based upon my own life experiences and some of theirs. Things that they can identify with. Average guy stuff. I'm no scholar, just an average guy. And so when I get a message like that, I go, okay, good. Not so much that what I'm doing is working. It's just that they're listening. Now, I bring up Priscilla because I went to the San Antonio No Kings rally. And I took a lot of B-roll of the audience there and the chanting there and what they were wearing and what their sign said. But if you try to interview them, many of those folks are very savvy. And if you start asking them questions based upon your political bent, they will be reluctant or they become argumentative and you get nowhere. So I said to them, I'm not going to record my questions. I want to talk to you like a real person. This isn't a gotcha. And I use Mark in West Hartford's line. I'm unaffiliated. So I just want to ask you objective questions. Not from a conservative bent, not from a liberal bent. I just want to ask you questions based upon your point of view. And I learned a lot, folks. Are there some people there who are the genuine article? Yes. Without a doubt, there are people there who truly believe that this administration is wicked and wrong. There are people who believe that Donald Trump is the type of politician that separates people, that is an antagonist. Some of them even think he's evil. Do they have legitimate reasons to think that? No. But when they discuss with me why they do, they are not coming from a place of malice. They have been led to believe this. And it is evident in the way that they talk. As I told you, I listen to all facets of media, so you don't have to. So if there's something that's said on MSNBC, if there's something on CNN, ABC, NBC, I already know when the person is speaking what network he's listening to, what talking head he has gotten his ideas from, because I listen to them all of them. And when I hear something and it sounds verbatim to what Van Jones may have said, I can point it out just like that. So I'm very much invested. Like I said, there are some legitimate people there who have no malice in their heart towards anyone else. They just think that they're standing for something important. However, there are some really, really angry folks out there who do not like conservatives. And they have decided that you are dumb, that you are ignorant, and that you must be re-educated. When I say must be re-educated, I made sure I understood. This is not something that people said to me and I was like, it sounds like you're saying. No, I asked them, are you saying? And sure enough, they tiptoed around it a lot of times. Well, I'm not saying. Listen, do me a favor. If you want to convince people of where you are, don't lie to them. I'm asking you, do you wish to re-educate conservatives or MAGA folks? Yes. Why? Because their thinking is wrong, they told me. The way that they think is wrong. And I went, how do you intend to re-educate them? We must force them. Now, listening to this, I go, wait a minute. I don't want to shock you here, but it sounds like you're asking to commit the same fascism you're here to stop. And then the wildest answer came out of their mouths. We know, but we are morally superior to them. And what we want is for the greater good. It's good fascism versus bad fascism. This wasn't a one-off, folks. This was the lion's share. I was there for 2 hours. I walked around and I talked to everyone. And I, again, told them, I just want to learn. Tell me where you're coming from. Tell me why you believe this about that person. I saw people holding signs with Trump on a tombstone. I asked the older woman holding it, why do you want him dead? Will that stop the movement? I mean, if he were to die, do you think that MAGA would just dissolve? Yes, they said. That with Donald Trump dead, the rest of you conservatives, you disillusioned, crazy folks would wake up out of your mind numbness and then see things their way. That Donald Trump has you mesmerized. Even they see Donald Trump as the deity they think you do. Isn't that interesting? I went through this and heard people talking about Donald Trump and talking about things that they were fighting against. And then when they got in power, when they won, they would do the exact same thing that they claim this president and this administration are doing. And when they were called on it, they all said, but we are the rational ones. It is necessary for fascism for the good of all mankind, but only our fascism. I ask simple questions like, wait a minute, you think that Donald Trump and his minions want the fascism for all? What do you say to people who would, in essence, be voting for their own demise? People used to say that Republicans wanted dirty air and dirty water. Well, wouldn't they drink the same dirty water and breathe in the same dirty air? Do you know what they said to that? I'm serious. Yes, but those people would carve out clean air and clean water for themselves. What? How would they possibly do that? There are ways, they said. I talked to a bunch of other radicals, many who said that there must be a war. Must be a war. But my favorite line was from a Mexican-American who lives in New York, who was there in San Antonio because that's where he grew up, and was there at that rally and said to me before we began, I don't know if you're ready to hear what I really think. He can't wait. He said he couldn't wait to get back home to vote for Mamdani, he said, by the way, when he found out I was from New York. But the thing he said that blew my mind, folks, and this is going to blow your mind too, this Mexican-American sat there and looked at me and said, we must have a civil war and the North will win again. I said, I'm sorry, what? He said, the North will win again. I said, are you suggesting that the South is they're like the Confederate in some sort of way? You can take it any way you want to. I was like, okay, all right. Well, what happens after the war? Like brother versus brother, you're talking to like military. It's like, no, brother versus brother, people versus people. Like, oh, it's like, see, I told you, I'm a little more radical than you expect. I'm like, okay, no big deal. So what happens after the war is over? The North has won and the South is still there. What about them having their same ideals? What do you do with them? We educate them. We do what? We educate them. I said, so you're talking about re-education camps of some sort? Well, I didn't say all that. I was like, why don't you just say what you mean? They clearly will not go willingly. Oh, then we will force them. We will force them. It is amazing to watch these people say the things that come out of their mouth. But the scariest part is that this did not come from the young people. 70% of the people at this rally were at least 55 and older. And the majority of them were white. Sure, it being San Antonio, there's a lot of Hispanics, Mexicans, Guatemalans, I'm sure. But they paled in comparison to older white folks who were there at those rallies. And they all shared one thing in common. They all were reliving the 1960s. They were getting one more shot at the radical protest 60s. I spoke to a woman who stayed with the Weather Underground while she was in Washington, D.C. I talked to a lot of people who were there, who came from the revolutionary ranks of the 60s and 70s. I heard tales about the Black Panther Party. I mean, I heard tales that I haven't heard since my mother told me when I was a kid. But they were all there reliving their activist years. And I got to tell you, folks, they all want death. because they know they can't win on ideas. Because they know that people on the right, MAGA folks or Republicans, will never heal. They will never, ever bow down to their ideology, which is why they scream for death. It is the reason why they have absolutely no care in the world to talk about how people need to die.
You gotta grab a gun. We gotta turn around the guns on this fascist system. These ICE agents gotta get shot and wiped out. The state machinery, that's a full display right there, has to get wiped out.
We'll be back. I'll tell you some more about this, especially to a young man I spoke to about Marxism and a young woman I talked about, Mom Donnie, when we return. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Brian Jackman here for QC Kinetics. Listen, if you're dealing with joint pain, whether it's arthritis or injury, and you're sick of it and you're not doing anything about it, well, you might want to just pick up the phone because QC Kinetics might be the answer for you. You can get long-lasting relief without drugs, without surgery. They use regenerative medicine that basically revitalizes your joints using growth factors from your own body. That's right, whether it's back, knees, hips, shoulders, whatever it is, they can get you lasting relief. And get this, when you follow up with them, that consultation is totally free. So you go in there, learn if it's right for you, bring your MRIs, bring your x-rays, and at the end of that, you've learned something about yourself, and you might find out that QC Kinetics is the solution you've been looking for. Give them a call right now, 860-440-PAIN. Again, it's 860-440-PAIN. They have locations most likely near you, Avon, New Haven, and Glastonbury. And like I said, that first consultation, totally free, risk-free. QC Kinetics, 860-440-PAIN.
Get a head start to your day with WTIC News Talk 1080. Listen to us live on the Odyssey app before you even hit the road. Get the breakdown on the biggest news stories that Connecticut is talking about. To get started, download the Odyssey app and search for WTIC News Talk 1080.
Hey, if you're looking for a reliable car that won't break the bank, Mitchell Auto Group has Mitchell Select, an exclusive lineup of affordable pre-owned vehicles, each car carefully inspected with a 150-point check and comes with a 12-month warranty so you can drive with confidence. Sedans, SUVs, whatever it is, Mitchell Select has options for everybody. Go to MitchellAutoGroup.com, browse the inventory today. Mitchell Auto Group, delivering quality and value, and always, people, drive safely.
Now is a great time to have the Peter L. Brown Company vinyl side your home. Let us show you the difference between a beautifully installed Peter L. Brown siding job and a not-so-good siding job. You don't need to break the bank to get great siding. For quality siding, customized to your specifications, the Peter L. Brown Company is your best choice. Please visit peterlbrown.com for roofing, siding, windows, and doors.
Peter L. Brown, we do it right the first time.
And now, a WTIC News Update.
WTIC News Time is 2:30, 65 degrees. I'm Dave Mager. In the 60s with possible showers this afternoon, in the 40s tonight. There was heavy police presence at Foxwoods. Police now say an incident has been safely resolved. They say someone allegedly restrained two people before releasing them. This happened in a hotel room in the Fox Tower. Police add it was not a hostage situation, and they say it's over now. One person dead, another gravely injured in an overnight crash in Hartford. It was on Albany Ave before midnight. A car being pursued by police crashed and burst into flames. After police cut off their chase, the driver was killed, another person ejected, and likely won't survive his injuries. Hartford Police Lieutenant Aaron Boisford says weapons were found in the car.
They loaded a firearm. Firearm was located in the suspect vehicle, along with some drugs. It was also learned that the operator of that suspect vehicle was on the deadly weapons offense registry.
The man who was killed was in his 20s. Governor Lamont looking to fill out the board at PURA, the utilities regulator. There are 4 new nominees now for commissioner, including former Republican State Rep Holly Cheeseman. Thomas Wheel of Madison is the governor's choice for board chair. He's currently legal director for the State Office of Consumer Counsel. State lawmakers expected back in Hartford for a special session in mid-November. House Speaker Matt Ritter tells WTIC's Brian and Company Democrats continue to negotiate on a new version of the housing bill that Governor Lamont vetoed.
They're close. There is not white smoke yet, but, talking to the majority leader and others who've been negotiating it, they think they're very close to the governor's office, but I'll let them all announce that when they're ready.
They'll also tackle how to pay for some of the services being cut by the Trump administration during the ongoing government shutdown.
That's sort of a wrinkle that nobody anticipated when we left Hartford back in June. And so we may look to put some additional funds aside to prepare for some federal cuts or reductions or programs that we may have to fund ourselves, depending on how long the shutdown goes on.
On Wall Street, the Dow up 543, S&P climbing 75, the NASDAQ is up 330. And we check the WTIC forecast.
Partly sunny conditions out there this afternoon. There's still the chance for a shower. High temperatures in the 60s, though temperatures will actually tend to go down a few degrees as we go through the rest of the day. Mostly clear sky tonight, lows in the 40s. Tuesday looks mostly sunny with highs in the low to mid 60s. Clouds increase Tuesday night, some showers developing. Chance for thunder by late Tuesday night, lows 45 to 50. Chance for a shower or thunder shower Wednesday morning. Otherwise becoming partly to mostly sunny, highs in the low to mid 60s. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday all look dry. A mix of sun and clouds Thursday, the high around 60. Mostly sunny Friday and Saturday. Temperatures averaging 55 to 60 degrees. I'm meteorologist Bob Cox in the WTIC Weather Center.
65 and cloudy. For more, check out WTIC.com. I'm Dave Maker. WTIC 1080 News.
We know that you want the best for your child. That's why you can trust our expert pediatric dentists here at Columbia Dental, who are trained to meet and handle your child's unique dental needs. Call Columbia Dental at 860-645-0111.
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real, and I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, E-T-H-O-S, ethos.com/life.
If you're still waiting for a sign, here's another one. At California Psychics, we reject 98% of the psychics who apply to work for us. So we only connect you with the best. That's how we can guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And right now, new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. If that's not a sign, I don't know what is. Dramatic sound effect incoming. Experience the joy of certainty at CaliforniaPsychics.com.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Life's unpredictable and full of unknowns, but your vehicle shouldn't be. No one wants to face an unexpected repair that could derail their plans and budget. That's why we're introducing CarShield, the ultimate way to future-proof your ride. We're not just about fixing problems, we're about preventing financial surprises. You can get a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan designed to save you from out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Imagine driving with complete peace of mind, knowing that if something goes wrong, you'll pay almost nothing for covered repairs. Included in every plan is free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. This protection plan is at an all-time low, making it accessible to any driver. Don't wait for a breakdown to realize you need coverage. Invest in the future of your vehicle and your wallet today. Call CarShield now for your free quick quote. Call 800-908-8646. That's 800-908-8646. Future-proof your ride. Call CarShield now. 800-908-8646. 800-908-8646. Again, 800-908-8646.
Hi, I'm USA.com and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 203-896-4000. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition, any price range, and more importantly, anywhere in Connecticut. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that is trash and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying junk houses. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and even foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 203-896-4000. That's 203-896-4000. 203-896-4000.
Fan of WTIC? Then do us a favor. Download the free Odyssey app and favorite WTIC.
Now, before anybody starts texting me or calling me about this, we've got the Senator Anwar thing on deck. We will talk about that. We've got a guest coming in. Senator Jeff Gordon is going to be on the program at about 4:05 to talk about all of this. It is everywhere now, and it's growing. I want to start by saying, just on that subject, it is not Republicans or conservatives that are asking that Senator Anwar be dealt with. Beginning your news reports with that farce is insulting. It's not a conservative issue, which goes right, and just so the journalists know this, you idiots, when you guys keep talking about it's on both sides and then report conservatives are upset, which means liberals don't give a damn, because deep down liberals are going, Senator Anwar, that's how you talk about conservatives. Conservatives are just blowing it out of proportion. Weren't you the guys just last week screaming and hollering about the heads of a bunch of young Republicans who were in a private text saying, as you allege, racist things? What are you going to do about it? What are you guys going to do about it? Well, a guy resigned. A politician resigned because he said that a woman looked like she didn't bathe. I don't know if that's racist or not. I didn't know it was a racist thing to say that somebody didn't bathe. But he resigned. So if you get a pound of flesh, we want ours. Let's not call it partisan anger or partisan dismay. What Senator Anwar did was despicable in the climate. Now, as I said on X, I just think he's a dumbass. That's what I think he is. And I think that he gets to associate himself with dumbasses throughout time. And if somebody thinks that that's insulting to call him a dumbass, then what do you think it is when you say that cholesterol should do its job on the President of the United States? We have his statement here as well. We'll read it in a bit. But I want to get back to the Shady Acres March on Saturday, because that's what it was. Come on. Let's call it what it was. Come on. That's all it was. It was everybody out for a brisk walk outside the nursing home. We know what it was about. Come on, if we could joke about it, let's joke about it. If everything's a joke, everything's a clown show, let's just make fun of it. Let me tell you something. The socialists, it's their party now. I've tried to warn you. I tried to warn all of you. The socialists have taken over the Democrat Party. And they were there, and those people who are supposed to be moderate Democrats, they sat there and they watched all of those kids walking by wearing socialism is the future now t-shirts. And all of the t-shirts, ironically, were red. Not my favorite color, I may have to say, but that's what they were wearing. And the speakers were all Marxists. They were all preaching Marxism. And while the moderate Democrats sat up there and repeated every chant of Marxists, communists, socialists, they were all there. I asked plenty of them, wait a minute, now, I got to be asking you, are you socialists or are you communists? Oh, no, I'm a Democrat socialist. Oh, no, I'm just a socialist. Well, this thing seems to be sponsored by a lot of communists. Yeah, I mean, we invite everybody. And the thing that always bothers me, right, is that the guilt by association is only for us. As the aforementioned telegraphed text message scandal was, right? Because those people were in a private chat saying questionable things about race, about gender, about Hitler. We all had to condemn it. See, listen to the way that they talk. That means you all talk like that. No one ever parsed it. They didn't say those individuals were responsible. They said we all had to take account. So I sat there and I asked, well, don't you have to take account for these guys? You're all here together. Yeah, but you can talk to 5 people and 5 different people will tell you what socialism is or what communism is. We're not all the same. I was like, but wait a minute, you don't all coalesce at the end of the day? I mean, you're all going to vote the same way, aren't you? You guys are all going to vote against the MAGA folks, the Republican folks, aren't you? You are here together, right? You may be protesting different messages, but you're all in unison, aren't you? I mean, that kind of is the socialist way, to which they admitted. Oftentimes. Now, can I give you something on the Republican side, if I may? Okay. I'm going to give some advice. Yes, it is unsolicited. But the only reason why, as I said last week about unsolicited advice, I give this advice because I experienced it, right? So I actually have something to go on when I engage you in this conversation. 1, Republicans, find yourself Black and Latino conservatives. Find Black ones. Latinos are great. Don't get me wrong. They can convey the message as well, but you need to get your hand on some very, very deep, dyed-in-the-wool Frederick Douglass type conservatives and get them out there to message and have a conversation with these people on the left. Why? This story will tell you why. So I'm talking to a row of elderly white folks, about 3 women, 2 men. And we start talking about the death of Donald Trump. The one woman had the placard with the tombstone with Trump written on it. And people walking by going, yeah, man, yeah. And I asked the lady, what would happen if he died? And she said that people would come out of their malaise, as I laid out earlier in the opening monologue. And I said, so you really believe these people are in a cult? And the man sitting there chimed in. He was very aggressive. The other ladies were very polite. But this man was very aggressive. Yeah, they all are. They're all a bunch of zombies. I went, okay, all right. I said, you have evidence of that? I mean, like, how do you know that for certain? I mean, it seems like you're just assuming that they're all that. So if Donald Trump were to die, you're saying that they would just wake up and they would no longer be in trance by him. Yeah, man, that's exactly what it is. He's the one that's got them all brainwashed. I went, oh, okay, all right, no problem. I said, that's fine. So what do you say to others who would believe that being on the left is kind of being in a cult. Now, I thought about this, and I thought, don't go into the usual spaces. Do not bring up transgenderism. Do not bring up LGBTQ. That's not necessary. But I found the one that had them fumbling. They said, I don't think that's happening on our side. And I said, are you sure? And she goes, no, we take a whole bunch of different opinions. And I said, well, in my travels in this business, I've learned that if African Americans vote for Donald Trump or conservatives, they're often called Uncle Toms and are maligned for their point of view if they do not agree with the leftist orthodoxy. What do you say to that? And the place went silent as they stood in front of a black man asking them that very important question about cultism. They didn't even know how to respond. Yes, you're right. That does happen. And then I repeated something I repeat often here on the show. Do you remember the Facebook post I always talk about? A white man posted, the definition of white privilege is being able to vote for whatever I believe in and never being called a traitor to my race. And everyone sitting there completely bowed their head in shame. And I said, that is an experience in the African American culture. What do you say to that cultism? Well, I'll agree. Yeah, there's cultism everywhere. It's on both sides. They were ashamed. And as I've told you Republicans before, these guys on the left do not know how to handle black folks. Many people on this program call up all the time. I think it's what is it? Ralph in South Carolina says, what's the biggest threat to the Democrat? An educated black man. They're scared to death. They don't know how to operate us. They just don't. They fumble. They fall. They trip over themselves. But it's amazing to watch. And as I sat there and I watched them, I didn't put any expression. I didn't give them an aha. I sat there and I waited. I waited until they could come up with an answer. And I said, there is cultism. You're only allowed to think a certain way, especially based on the color of your skin. And I didn't just try it with those groups of whites. I even asked the Mexican guy when I talked to him about the Civil War. Do you know what he told me? This one will blow your mind. He said the region of Texas where he was born, 60% of them voted for Donald Trump. He couldn't believe it. I said, why do you think that was? And he said, it's the wannabes. Wannabe what? The wannabe whites. I said, what? He goes, they want to be white. They want to be accepted by whites. They want to be rich. They want to be wealthy. I said, well, but that's a white thing? That's a thing. That's not a white thing. He goes, no, that's a white thing. They want to be whites. They want to be wealthy. I said, why are you conceding that to white folks? Why wouldn't anybody want to be wealthy? Why wouldn't anybody want to get paid what they're worth? Why wouldn't anybody want to give great things to their children? What are you talking about? No, that's a white thing. And I said, that's funny. I don't cede anything to white people. I'm stunned that you do. And of course, he didn't know how to handle it. I said, that's not a white thing. Neither is marriage or raising your children in a two-parent household. Those things aren't ceded to white people. I can't understand why you would. I understood a lot that day. I understood a lot. When we come back, we'll talk about this some more. We'll play some audio sound bites. And, of course, we'll read your messages in the chat rooms. We'll be back. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Chronic pain can be very bossy. What do I mean? It tells you what you can or can't do. Sometimes it even has the audacity to keep you from working.
I missed almost 3 weeks of work, and I was no longer able to play tennis. The pain was really debilitating sometimes. I missed Thanksgivings.
Abby was ready to put the bossy bad back in her past. And that's when she discovered QC Kinetics and their non-surgical treatments for pain. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in advanced regenerative medicine with tens of thousands of satisfied patients, people who have experienced real lasting relief without drugs and without surgery.
It has just been the most life-changing, amazing experience. Not only life-changing, but career-saving. I get to continue to do the career that I love. I'm playing tennis again.
Stop letting that joint pain boss you around. Start with a free consultation at QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 860-440-PAIN. That's 860-440-PAIN. 860-440-PAIN.
Let me tell you about this new pretzel cheddar club. Hey, I'm Carlos.
And I'm Ebony. And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Pretzel Cheddar Club
is the tangy Dijon with the pretzel bun. It takes it to a whole nother level.
It goes perfectly with the chicken and the cheddar cheese and the bacon.
Man, you know how much you love bacon. And I love the different varieties. Grilled, spicy, original. It gets you nice and excited for fall.
Order the Pretzel Cheddar Club with Cherry Berry and Sprite for a limited time on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
There's nothing like when you get that part from eBay and it just fits. Yeah, the first time. So you can do less of this and get right back to more of this. At eBay, you'll find all the parts you need, guaranteed to fit, at prices you'll love. Sounds good, doesn't it? eBay, things people love. Eligible items only, exclusions apply.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
It's Reese on the Radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
I didn't know we were coming back that fast. Anyway. Let me play this as well because I need to get this little audio bit out of here. As well as this guy who I just played, Moises Bernal. He is an employee at Wilbur Wright College. He was the one who was screaming this at one of the rallies in Chicago.
You gotta grab a gun. We gotta turn around the guns on this fascist system. These ICE agents gotta get shot and wiped out.
Yeah, so again, there is clearly a frustration out of these folks. And they have convinced themselves that they are the righteous ones. They are the virtuous ones. The crazy part is that what's the motivator behind all of this? And it is the poor and indigent. That's how they rationalize this whole thing. That's the rationale. The rationale is, hey, these people don't deserve to exist because I've decided they don't care about the most important people: poor, indigent, and immigrant. Those people are more important. That is the moral high ground that they have. And if you are with Donald Trump, you do not deserve to exist in their world. The world that they wish to create. And you will have to adhere. I talked to a man for about 30 minutes about socialism, and he was very, very kind. I recorded, and I'm going to actually play that. I'm going to play that, not today, but we're going to play it. Because he talked so much about the world that socialists could build, where the workers are more important than the CEOs. and how the workers should get the lion's share of the profits. He expressed, and you've heard all of this before, it's nothing new. They say that the CEOs get a golden parachute. What happens to you when the company goes under? What happens to you? And I expressed to him, I said, yeah, what, I don't understand. What are you talking about? He goes, yeah, he gets a golden parachute if the company goes bankrupt. But what happens to you? And I went, I get another job? To which he was like, well, yeah, you'll get another job. I'm like, yeah, and what? What happens? Let's say the company never goes bankrupt. Are you saying that I'm stuck there in perpetuity? Can I go here? Can I go there? How about, can I increase my income? To which he responded to me that there would be no motivation. I said, because we are human beings, and the one thing that is innate in all of us is having something better to provide for our children, I asked him, do we all drive the same car? He said, no. How about if I want the 8K or 8K? Yeah, 8K television. You know, much better than the 4K. And he said, well, that's something we'd talk about. I'm sorry, that's something we'd what? They were fine with the idea that there would be a commission that you would go through to determine if you could get a fancier TV. You've never met my wife. I told him, I know that if we had our housing and our water and our food provided for us, and after a while my wife starts looking at those four walls and she says, baby, we've got to move. I am sick of living like this. We have to live in a bigger house. I need us to have 2 bathrooms. I'm sick and tired of you being in mine. Can I go and get a bigger home from my demanding wife? Well, that would be determined by, this story's over. This conversation is done. Do you think I'm going to go back to my wife and say, hi, sweetie, I apologize, but the socialists say that we're going to have to share a bathroom for the rest of our lives? My wife is in the background shaking her head no. This is what they want. This is what they're fighting for. And again, remember, it isn't about your status in life. It is about, again, the most important people to them, the vulnerable, the weak, the poor. It's about them getting and you suffering. You've had it your way forever. Now we have to make sure that they can at least rise to where you are. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again, folks. Every leftist ideology that has ever been implemented in our world has never been made to lift that group up to where we are. It has always been to diminish us where we are so they can lift up the others, for us to all live in mediocrity. It happened with the women's movement. It wasn't about ascending women to the ranks of men. It was about marginalizing men and for us meeting at the middle of mediocrity. We got to take a break. We'll be back. Dave Mager's in for John Silver in the WTIC newsroom. It's Reese on the Radio.
WTIC is celebrating 100 years on the air and 100 years of serving Connecticut. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
65 degrees, 3 o'clock. I'm Dave Mager, WTIC 1080 News. Mid-60s this afternoon, chance of another shower, low in the mid-40s tonight. Police at Foxwood say an incident in the Fox Tower has been resolved. One person allegedly restrained 2 others in a hotel room this morning before releasing them. There was a large police presence during some sort of standoff that followed. Police emphasize it was not, they say, a hostage situation. One person is dead, another gravely injured in an overnight crash in Hartford. It was just before midnight on Albany Ave. A car being pursued by police crashed and burned after police cut off their chase. The driver was killed, another person ejected, and likely won't survive his injuries. Police Lieutenant Aaron Boisvert says weapons were found in the car.
They loaded a firearm. The firearm was located in the suspect vehicle along with some drugs. It was also learned that the operator of that suspect vehicle was on the deadly weapons offense registry.
The audio from WFSB, the man who died was in his 20s. The government shutdown, now almost 3 weeks old. The House, under Republican Speaker Mike Johnson, isn't even in session. CBS's Torian Small is on Capitol Hill.
Feels like Groundhog Day on the Hill. Another week goes by, another round of press conferences. House Speaker Mike Johnson just a few moments ago leading a press conference calling out Democrats for, in his words, not passing a clean continuing resolution, something that he says is unprecedented. Again, the stakes haven't changed. Democrats are looking to center health care as a part of this conversation.
Specifically, Democrats looking to extend federal health care subsidies, which, if they run out, would cause insurance premiums to double or triple for millions of Americans. Lawmakers will return to Hartford for a special session middle of next month. Majority Democrats want to set money aside for programs losing federal funding during the shutdown. But House Speaker Matt Ritter doesn't think any state will be able to make up for all the losses. He says they're just filling gaps for now.
Could the Democrats win back Congress next November? Sure, they could. And if that happens, then maybe there's a better negotiation and you don't see, the healthcare premium increases or things like that. And so we may not need the money we put aside. I'd be the happiest guy in the world if the money we put aside was not needed. And then if the money's not needed, you can then put it back into the pension fund.
Another issue for the special session, a revamp of the housing bill that Governor Lamont vetoed. Ritter tells WTIC's Brian and Company the negotiators may be close to a deal. Governor Lamont plans to fill out the board at PURA, the utilities regulator. There are 4 new nominees, including former Republican State Rep Holly Cheeseman. Thomas Wheel of Madison is the choice for board chair. He's currently legal director for the State Office of Consumer Counsel. It's a shaky ceasefire in Gaza, with Israel now allowing aid to flow after an interruption yesterday as violence continues.
The Israeli army said the border crossing reopened a day after it was closed when Palestinian gunmen attacked and killed 2 Israeli soldiers. Israeli press reports said President Trump pressed hard on Israel to reopen the crossing and allow humanitarian aid into Gaza. Israel continues to control just over half of Gaza. U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff arrived in Israel to encourage the sides to move ahead with the next stage, which calls for Hamas to disarm and Israel to withdraw further.
CBS's Linda Gradstein reporting the Dow up 540, S&P climbing 77, the NASDAQ is plus 338. WTIC traffic, 2 lanes closed on I-91 South in Enfield, a crash involving a truck and 2 other vehicles there. That's between exits 46 and 47, again on 91 South in Enfield. And we check the WTIC forecast.
Rather breezy for the rest of this afternoon with clouds and even a few breaks of sunshine, along with a couple of showers. We'll head up to a high of right around 66 degrees. Then it turns out clear and cooler tonight with a low of 45. We do have a nice day in store for tomorrow with sunshine and a few afternoon clouds. The high tomorrow is 67. We do have another storm moving into the region tomorrow night. That's going to bring us an increase in clouds along with occasional rain and drizzle late at night. As we head down to a low of 53. Then for Wednesday, a couple of showers in the morning. Otherwise, variable cloudiness with a high of 64. Thursday turns out breezy with clouds breaking at times for some sunshine. The high Thursday up to 60. And as we head into Friday, partly sunny and feeling much more like fall out there with a high Friday of 58. This is meteorologist Isaac Longley at the WTIC Weather Center.
64 now and partly sunny. Sports, ALCS Game 7, Seattle at Toronto. NFL, Tampa Bay at Detroit, then Houston at Seattle. For more, check out WTIC.com. I'm Dave Maker, WTIC 1080 News.
Don Cusson here. Fall is a great time to get behind the wheel and head out for some seasonal driving. With leaves on the road and rain or snow falling, driving can be hazardous. Is your car ready? Cusson Auto features Cooper and Continental tires, helping to ensure a comfortable and safe driving experience no matter the season. Let Cusson Auto handle your next oil change, knowing our team will inspect your vehicle for all your service needs. After all, we'll do it right or not at all. Call 860-289-2389 or visit CussonAutomotive.com.
Cusson Automotive. Unite. Cusson. Unite.
Comcast. Turn your small business into a connected,
Yes, sir.
secure, modern business. It's how retailers become constantly connecting must-visit shops. How restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. how healthcare offices become the data protecting caregivers that we all depend on, and how wealth management firms become cyber-securing guardians of your information. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, and Wi-Fi backup, your business can stay connected and get threat-ready with Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get started with our reliable business internet. Plus, stay connected when you add Wi-Fi backup for just $30 a month and ask about a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Call today. Restrictions apply. Wireless Connect requires business internet for additional monthly charge. Taxes and other fees extra. Prepaid card offer ends 11/16/25.
Reese on the radio, making sense of the news. Yeah, even when it makes no sense at all. Now on WTIC, News Talk 1080.
All right, let's get to some headlines. People are saying that you may be oversharing with your AI. Now, I admit, I've been using AI a little bit now, trying to get a feel for it and understand it, and I've had a good time using it. But people are saying that some people are oversharing with their AI. And they said how your chat GPT conversations could be used against you. And people are treating the AI chat box as advisors, confidants, and even accomplices. This according to Anthony Cuthbertson. He says that there are no legal protections and predatory actions are looking into monetize and exploit this new trove of deeply intimate data. This is according to a couple of watchdogs groups and this individual. And what he's saying is very similar to what I did, I think, on Thursday's Stupidest Thing I Read Today, where the young man who had vandalized some cars in a parking lot at his college, they ended up, of course, finding all of these things in his chat GPT conversation. But I think that that's a little off the cuff because this guy invited the police into seeing those things by saying, oh, yeah, search through my phone. And all of those things were there. And in essence, he just self-indicted. So I don't know. That's they're just saying, be careful with it. It is online and it could be compromised through hackers and stuff, but you can find software to protect yourself from that. A woman by the name of Josefa Impetito Shepard, who's 76 years old in Washington, D.C., said that feces or skunk smell was emanating from her 73-year-old next-door neighbor, Thomas Cackett's doorway, and it made her dread coming home. Now, after 5 years of representing herself in a courtroom, I pronounced her name wrong, Impetito Shepard has finally won her case in a D.C. Court of Appeals. A lower court judge had already ruled in her favor in 2023, but Cackett, the stoner neighbor, he appealed. The higher court ended up siding with Impetito, saying that her use and enjoyment of her own property was more important than Cackett's use and enjoyment of his marijuana. Cackett tried arguing that he only smoked once a day and never longer than 5 minutes, all to cope with his many different health conditions, including skin cancer, chronic hepatitis, arthritis, and is that satiatia? Is that how I pronounce that? Scasatia? What about, I don't even know how to pronounce that. My wife's the medical person here. That word right there. Do you know what that is? Sciatica. That was horrible. Thank you. Sciatica. How was I supposed to be able to read that? Thank you. I appreciate you, honey. He says, quote, I am not Snoop Dogg. I should be allowed to smoke my marijuana. Sciatica. I've never even had to read that word before. Now I'm embarrassed. I deserved every part of that scorn. I deserve every bit of that scorn. Oh, man. Also, Chris Murphy is in the news with more than $11 million in campaign cash to spend in advance to the 2026 midterms. He can start collecting IOUs for a possible presidential run in 2028. New Federal Election Commission's filings show Murphy with $10.6 million in his campaign bank as of September 30th. And his next Senate campaign still 6 years away. He also has $575,000 in his Leadership Political Action Committee. Should he decide to run for president, Murphy could transfer all $10.6 million to his presidential campaign committee. In the interim, he could use some of that money and his American Mobilization PAC to donate to fellow Democrats around the country who he's campaigning with. In the last 3 months, for example, Murphy used his PAC to donate $5,000 apiece to 6 Democrats running for U.S. Senate. Those included Cory Booker and Representative John Larson, which you may have heard he endorsed last week. And now for the stupidest thing I read today, other than me not being able to spell sciatica.
This could very well be the stupidest person on the face of the earth.
Senator Anwar. You might know that he posted a picture of himself standing with a woman at the No Kings rally this Saturday. And in that picture, it reads, "Cholesterol, do your job," showing a hamburger and fries on one side and fried chicken on the other. Everyone knows what it meant. Everybody knew who he was talking about, and he smiled about it. And with the political climate, a state senator and a physician should know better. He knows exactly what's going on, and he has a responsibility to keep the temperature down, not to add to it. And of course, there was outrage over the weekend. I was not outraged. I just simply called him a dumbass because he is a dumbass. You'd have to be. It's the only explanation as to why you would post a picture like that smiling. Now, he didn't put it on his own page, but it got out that he was in the picture. It was easy to see himself. He didn't shield himself. He wasn't wearing an Antifa mask. God bless him. But he knew what that sign meant. He knew what it was. But what was the stupid thing? What was the stupidest thing that he did? He wrote this as a response. "Some Republicans are pretending to be outraged over a photo of me standing next to a satirical sign at a No Kings rally. Republicans are furious over a joke, but silent when our democracy, our healthcare, and our planet is under attack. The outrage is a performative distraction. If they can't create ways to be mad about the things that don't matter, then people will start to realize their positions on things that do matter. While they're busy clutching pearls over a piece of poster board, families in Connecticut are fighting for affordable health care, quality education, and fundamental constitutional rights. The work continues, whether the outrage machine approves or not." Now, if I may say so, Senator, let me get to this part of your statement. While they're busy clutching their pearls over a piece of poster board, families in Connecticut are fighting for affordable health care, quality education, and fundamental constitutional rights. Dumbass. Let me help you. Connecticut is a blue state, and you're a state senator, and you've been a state senator for a while. Can you explain to me, dumbass, how Connecticut residents could possibly be fighting for affordable health care or a quality education under your party's watch? Can you explain that to me? You're in charge. If you think about it, you've got the purse strings, don't you? Unless I'm living in some sort of alternative universe. Nobody is clutching their pearls. What you said and what you did was irresponsible. Don't put it on us. We didn't post the picture. We didn't pose for the picture. And you knew exactly what you were doing when you did. And trying to pin the blame on us like we're outraged. Why aren't you, sir? Why aren't you outraged? You should be outraged at yourself. Why not even take a minute and say, you know what? That was in poor taste. I apologize. Which goes to show that as a physician, as a state senator, you have poor judgment. I wouldn't trust you with cough syrup at this point. That's how pathetic this statement is. Blaming others when you are in a leadership position where you're supposed to take the L. You're supposed to claim responsibility. You're the person who's supposed to lead your constituents. by telling them that you're embarrassed for them and you should apologize for them. I represented you poorly in this picture. In no way should we be joking about someone's passing, which is exactly what you called it here, dumbass. You said that it was a joke to wish the death on someone. So instead of, as we said, just admitting you were a dumbass, you doubled down. Which, as far as I'm concerned, solidifies my earlier point. You are a dumbass. Because you don't even see when you're wrong. You can't even figure it out when you're wrong. You are of the Ivy League. You're smarter than the rest of us. You are a physician. But the problem here is that you're not a moral person. Deep down in your heart, no matter what degrees you have, no matter what you've accomplished in life, you have no heart. You have no soul. This is despicable, and you know it is. You know deep down that this is despicable. Even Oakley Dokley has come out and said that you need to apologize. This isn't a conservative thing, sir. This is a moral thing. And for a party that claims to be the moral superior group, that you couldn't even look at this and say, poor taste and move on, because it doesn't have to be as big as it is. Poor taste, it would be over. But now you want to blame us, saying that we have outrage. There's no outrage here, sir. We just demand an apology. And we're going to get it. Well, no offense, but you're doubling down. What do you expect us to do? But you're doubling down, right? You said that we're clutching our pearls. This is faux anger. Okay, good. We'll make it real anger now. Now we'll ask for far more than an apology. That's all. We'll ask for far more. And we'll ask all of your colleagues as well. We'll go to them and we'll ask them whether or not they condemn or they support you doubling down on a joke about somebody's life. We'll make sure that they all step up and demand that you apologize. Because now you're all in it. Now every Democrat in Connecticut who hasn't stepped up, with the exception of you, Oakley, you're all right with me right now. You're all right with me. If it's true you stepped up and said that he should apologize, all right. The rest of you Democrats, you're on notice. Now get in homeboy's ear. You know, if he's not at the hospital or the clinic. You know? Well, why would he be at the hospital or the clinic? Getting his head out of his ass. You know, surgical procedure. It takes a couple hours. He may be in recovery. But I think you should all get down there and tell your buddy, hey, make this go away now. Because as far as I'm concerned, the rest of you are complicit. You're all down. You guys don't want this. You don't want to be a part of this. You never have wanted to be a part of this. And now this guy has put you in the middle of it. And now he's called it about Republican outrage, which also says that he is not the state senator of Republicans in his district. He doesn't care about whether or not he's offended them. He doesn't dare. He doesn't dare give a damn. And so we're going to make sure that he does. We understand that he's a public servant, so we're going to get him to serve the public. All of it. All of it. The Republicans, the independents, the non-voters, the people who hate voting. All of them. We're going to get him to represent all of them. We're going to get him to say, I'm sorry, my bad. I could have done better. So, you guys get out there. Talk to your local officials, state senator, representative. Ask them for a response. Do you support Senator Anwar telling everybody that they're clutching their pearls? Dismissing them? While we're trying to cool the temperature down? While he just seems to be, I don't know, pouring gasoline over the flame? Is this what you support? Is this what you stand for? Is it now fair game that we can start talking this way? Because I think that what we're supposed to do is that whenever we see this, we're supposed to step up and say something about it, right? We're supposed to put an end to it. Whenever we see stuff like this, we go, no, no more. That's never to be tolerated, no matter who it is. I'd love to know who his folks are. I'd love to know who his folks are that told him to write, Republicans are furious over a joke. Because that's what he thinks this is. It's a joke to wish death on someone. Ask him right now whether or not I'm allowed. Am I allowed to joke about that? Am I allowed to joke about that with anyone? Be it him or the governor. Anyway, am I allowed to do that? Would he accept it from any of us? How would he respond? I think we need to check his, maybe we should check his X posts. Maybe we should do a deep dive and find out if he's ever been outraged at someone wishing the death on another individual, on someone else's outrageous statements. He doesn't post a lot, folks, so it shouldn't be that hard. But I think we should go through his back. Now, I'll tell you exactly what's going to happen. The pressure will build on this guy because this guy's he's made of toilet paper. He's just going to delete his X account. That's what he's going to do. When people start calling him out, that's what he'll do. He'll just delete it. He'll run. I mean, I look at this guy. I mean, come on. This guy's not going to stand firm. He's not going to push back. He will apologize. I don't want anybody to think that he won't. He'll apologize. He will. We're going to talk to State Senator Jeff Gordon about this in about a half an hour. We'll talk to him about it and see what he says, see what his other colleagues are saying. And we'll get that quote. In fact, hold on. Give me a second since we have the time. Let me see if I can get the paraphrase quote that we got from him. Okay, it was emailed to me. Thank you, Adam. I appreciate you. I think he just sent me the audio of, what's his name, of Lamont condemning these this post. Okay, I got to go here. Yeah, so I think he did condemn. This is Governor Lamont, who's alleged to be condemning the comments of Senator Anwar. And so it's going to take me a second to get here, and I hope you guys will indulge me, or at least forgive me, as it takes a second for me to get to this page here. Come on. Where are you? I'm hoping this is it. Okay, wait a minute. I think I got it. No, this is what I mean by when I say, skin of you. There we go. Thank you. That took a second. There it is. Governor Lamont's comment. I think this is it here. Let me see if I can get the audio to play. Let me see if this is it here.
Look, I was at a couple of those rallies. There were thousands of really good, strong, positive signs about, respecting our Constitution and our laws. I thought that sign was offensive and inappropriate, and he shouldn't have been there next to that sign. I think he regrets it. I hope he says so.
Does any action need to be taken? I believe Senator Harding was hoping you would demand he be removed from the Public Health Committee.
Let's see what his response is. I don't need people jumping right now. Sometimes people make an honest mistake.
Do you have any reaction? I know you...
Well, we waited, dear Lamont. And for those of you who are just joining us, we read Senator Anwar's response to the, as he put it, faux outrage, saying some Republicans are pretending to be outraged over a photo of me standing next to a satirical sign at the No Kings rally. He didn't repeat it. He didn't repeat what the sign said. Republicans are furious over a joke. He seems to know exactly what people are. We're kind of embarrassed for you. I mean, at least I am. I'm embarrassed for you. Because I think for a man of your stature should know better, especially as a physician. Maybe he's too stupid to get the irony of this, right? If I remember correctly, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, isn't Senator Anwar a pulmonary physician, right? And this guy is talking about someone dying from cholesterol. And he doesn't get like the outrages that he should know better. First, do no harm, Dr. Anwar. First, do no harm. But if I may, before we go to a break, I want to read this for you. I saw this today. In August of this year, Mark David Chapman went up for parole again. And I just read this. And I was like, really? Mark David Chapman, who killed John Lennon, was up for parole again, and he was denied. And go read the story. I want you to go read the story. He said something interesting that has never been told as to why he killed John Lennon. And he said that it was selfish. It was a selfish reason. I wanted to be famous. And I think that's what all of this is about. They want to be famous. They want to be notorious. They want to be known. They're sick and tired of living their little quiet lives while everybody else is fawned over. And they think of themselves as so important. That's all. We'll talk about that. We got to take a break. We'll be back. More news, more views. We got Senator Jeff Gordon coming up real soon. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
The Peter L. Brown Company is known for quality vinyl siding. Our price includes all labor and materials to complete your job, unlike some companies that offer low-cost vinyl siding but have hidden charges. For quality vinyl siding, the Peter L. Brown Company is your best choice. Let us show you the difference a beautifully installed Peter L. Brown siding job can make. Please visit peterlbrown.com for roofing, siding, windows, and doors.
Peter L. Brown, we do it right the first time.
Melody asked a question. I'm going to read it now for you guys. I just want to turn the volume down on the show. Here's what she wrote. She says, after listening to your opening monologue, I'm wondering if you feel the people at the No Kings protest were all feeling the same way, or were there people just going along with the narrative? Yeah, there were a lot of just hangers-on at this protest that were just there for the sake of. And if you talk and communicate with some of the folks, they seem to be just repeating everything that they heard on television. There was not an original thought amongst any of them, with the exception of the socialists, who, by the way, only repeated the stuff that we have heard since the 50s and 60s about socialism. There were no new ideas. It was just the same idea. So that's pretty much what it was.
An appointment. They found out I had low T, and after that, it was like a light switch got turned on. I've been a patient at Northeast Men's Health for about 9 months now. Everything's gotten a lot better in my life. Energy, feeling, just work, a whole lot better. Even my kids notice. They're like, Daddy's got energy. Daddy's ready to go. If you don't feel like that, I would suggest calling Northeast Men's Health.
Thanks, Kurt. It's true. Low T therapy will likely change your life. Your initial appointment is only $99 with results in minutes. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call today, 800-930-5956, or go to northeastmenshealth.com.
And now, a WTIC news update.
63 degrees at 3:30. I'm Dave Mager, WTIC 1080 News. Temperatures in the mid-60s for a high this afternoon, low in the mid-40s tonight. Tomorrow, high mid-60s again, but this time sunny. Police at Foxwood say an incident in the Fox Tower has been resolved and one person is in custody. That person accused of restraining two others in a hotel room this morning before releasing them. State police were among those responding. Police emphasize it was not, they say, a hostage situation. The federal government shutdown going on 3 weeks long. Notably, furlough notices are going out to 1,400 workers at the Nuclear Safety Administration. Nuclear policy expert Joe Cirincione says that will leave the critical agency understaffed.
You're asking for trouble. It's like saying you don't have to check on the dynamite in the shed during the lightning storm. Everything will be fine. Bad idea.
About 400 workers remain to secure the nation's nuclear arsenal. The shutdown sending more of those who are food insecure to get critical assistance, including in Florida.
Thousands of people at Jacksonville's Mayport Naval Air Station are trying to make it without paychecks. This woman, one of hundreds who is seeking help, and the military support group's food drive.
And it feels a little bit hard when you're like kind of proud and you don't want to do that kind of things, but you gotta do what you gotta do.
Feeding Northeast Florida CEO Susan King says traffic is up for the 8 counties that her food bank serves.
But that increase ranged anywhere from a reported 10% to as much as 100%.
Peter King, CBS News, Orlando.
State House Speaker Matt Ritter tells WTIC lawmakers will return to Hartford for a special session in the middle of next month. Majority Democrats want to set money aside for programs losing federal funding due to the government shutdown and other White House cuts. WTIC traffic, I-91 South and Enfield, 2 lanes are now reopened after a crash involving a truck and 2 other vehicles. No injuries reported, according to state police. And we check the WTIC forecast.
Well, as we head through the rest of this afternoon, it will be breezy with clouds and some sunny breaks, along with a couple of showers. We'll head up to a high of right around 66 and turning out clear and cooler tonight. So we head down to a low of 45. A nice day in store for tomorrow with sunshine and a few afternoon clouds, the high 67. We do have another storm moving in tomorrow night. That's going to bring an increase in clouds along with occasional rain and drizzle late, with a low tomorrow night down to 53. This is meteorologist Isaac Longley in the WTIC Weather Center.
63 now on Wall Street. The Dow up 532 points. S&P climbing 75. The NASDAQ up 322. In sports, baseball, ALCS Game 7, Seattle at Toronto tonight. Monday night football, 2 games. Tampa Bay at Detroit, then Houston at Seattle. For more, check out WTIC.com. I'm Dave Maker, WTIC 1080 News.
Eggland's Best, the only eggs with more fresh and delicious taste, plus superior nutrition, available in so many delicious varieties. Classic, cage-free, organic, free-range, and pasture-raised. Eggland's Best, better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
How did you get your tripping breakers fixed so fast?
ALO Home Services, same-day electrical. I gave them a call, and they had a technician on their way. They even sent the technician's real-time location, so I knew when they would be here.
Did you say same day? That's crazy.
If you need same-day electrical, call, click, or text today and say hello, ALO. Call for details. License number HIC 628926, E102776688, S104134887, D104014665, S3308699, SM3004646, E1185643.
A Thanksgiving tradition in Connecticut is the Manchester Road Race. Another tradition is donating blood at the Ray Crothers Blood Drive. The Manchester Road Race Committee will again team up with the American Red Cross for this annual blood drive on Friday, November 28th at Manchester High School. Last year, the blood drive collected 376 pints of blood, benefiting over 1,100 patients in need of plasma and platelets. It's not too early to sign up. Please visit manchesterroadrace.com for more information.
Brian Jackman here for QC Kinetics. Listen, if you're dealing with joint pain, whether it's arthritis or injury, and you're sick of it and you're not doing anything about it, well, you might want to just pick up the phone because QC Kinetics might be the answer for you. You can get long-lasting relief without drugs, without surgery. They use regenerative medicine that basically revitalizes your joints using growth factors from your own body. That's right, whether it's back, knees, hips, shoulders, whatever it is, they can get you lasting relief. And get this, when you follow up with them, that consultation is totally free. So you go in there, learn if it's right for you, bring your MRIs, bring your x-rays, and at the end of that, you've learned something about yourself, and you might find out that QC Kinetics is the solution you've been looking for. Give them a call right now, 860-440-PAIN. Again, it's 860-440-PAIN. They have locations most likely near you, Avon, New Haven, and Glastonbury. And like I said, that first consultation, totally free, risk-free. QC Kinetics, 860-440-PAIN.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Hi, I'm Joe with SimpleSaleUSA.com, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 203-896-4000. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition, any price range, and more importantly, anywhere in Connecticut. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that is trash and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying junk houses. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and even foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 203-896-4000. That's 203-896-4000. 203-896-4000.
House stealing. It's It's real. It's the
Oh, I thought we
FBI's
were ready
term
already.
for thieves stealing your home's title and draining your equity. Just one fake document filed with a recorder, and scammers can own your home on paper, drain your equity, and do it all without you even knowing. Imagine waking up to a foreclosure or eviction notice. Listen to former title thief Matt Cox.
What people don't realize is the ease in which this crime can happen. I can take the deed to your house and I can transfer that deed into my name. It's a great crime, and it's happening all the time.
So how can you stop the nightmare and protect yourself? Find out if you're already a victim now at HomeTitleLock.com. Use promo code RADIO and get a 30-day free trial of their $1 million protection, a title scan, and access to a title specialist, a $250 value. Don't wait. Go to HoldTitleLock.com now, promo code RADIO.
Happy birthday to us. 100 years of serving Connecticut.
We're back. Wow, that was short. We're back. Reese on the radio, WTIC News Talk 1080. I will get to the phones in a second. The gun theme on the left is growing. Last week, there was some audio that went out. Don Lemon, who, again, as I said in the opening, look, they want death because they cannot win in the marketplace of ideas. They can't. I'm sorry. I wish that they could, but they can't. It's the reason why they're yelling. It's the reason why they're shouting. It's the reason why when you show up there and you ask people questions and you say, why are you here? And when they can't answer and they don't know what they're talking about, they scream and they holler, get out of here! Get out! That's the reason why. And it's petulant. Yeah, sure it is. But for these folks, it's not even stark raving mad. It's just anger grown to a level that says that, look, I can't debate you on what I believe. I know I'm not informed. All I know is that I'm supposed to be out here because this is the thing that my friends are doing. This is what, resistance. I mean, that's what we're supposed to do, right? And they're getting angrier and angrier. And I'll get into the socialist part of all this because I spoke to them. Spoke to one of the people at PSL. And she was one of the key speakers there. And I talked to her about Mamdani, and I talked to her about the Communist Party USA, about how they feel about Democrats, which you will not believe when I tell you. But this is where they are. Don Lemon, former CNN host.
Black people, brown people of all stripes, whether you're an Indian American or a Mexican American or whoever you are, go out in your place.
Does Don Lemon have a lisp? I didn't notice that before. Does he have a lisp? I'm listening to it now and I'm just going, why does he sound like that?
You live and get a gun legally, get a license to carry legally. Because when you have people knocking on your door and taking you away without due process as a citizen, isn't that what the Second Amendment was written for?
What is he even talking about? If they come knocking on your door, get a gun? What does that even mean? Well, we know what it means.
Go back and read what the Second Amendment says. And perhaps it will knock some sense in the heads of these people who are saying, well, it's all great. I don't believe they're doing it without due process. They're asking people for papers. They're not.
Now, the bozo who's interviewing him or is doing this interview with him, if he had any guts, he would say, Don, you do know what you're saying here, right? Okay, let's not draw attention to yourself. All right? You're telling people to get a gun legally, but what you're telling them to do is to use said gun if people knock on their door, meaning ICE. Okay? This is a bit beyond the pale. Can we calm the hell down? Okay? Can we not contribute to this nonsense? All right? This is the reason why they're calling us violent. If I don't check you, they know that I'm condoning this. This is what's called co-signing, ladies and gentlemen. And that's what just happened. And no one checks them. You want to know why? I told you. They can't handle black folks. They're hard to operate. They just can't. So they just let Don Lemon ramble, screaming and hollering, a bunch of nonsense. You don't think it's nonsense? Wait. Remember when I played the video last week of him having a discussion with the two people in the street about misdemeanors and whether or not that's illegal?
Not really beating people up. These people are doing things that are illegal. Nobody is illegal. It is a misdemeanor to cross the border.
It's a misdemeanor. Maybe he has a thing. Maybe he has a retainer in his mouth while he's talking. I don't know what the deal is. Let me get to the phones. Julie's in Boston. Hello, Boston, Julie.
Hi.
What's going on?
These people, they're just so the R word, okay? I won't say it, but they're the R word. And it's like, what do they think? All I think is like they can imagine. It's like the Twilight Zone. There's like that test pattern, that swirly thing on the screen goes, woo, woo, and we're like hypnotized. What do they think is going to happen if the cholesterol does his job?
Right.
Then J.D. Vance is going to be the new president, right?
Yeah.
Who is devoutly Catholic. How do they like that?
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to be the one we want next election anyway. So we're still going to get what we want. We're going to vote for him next election. Hopefully he runs.
And not only that, Julie, you make
we're getting what we want.
Yeah, and the worst part about it is like you would think they would learn from recent history. After the assassination of Charlie Kirk, Turning Point USA didn't diminish. It didn't dissolve. It grew exponentially. It's ridiculous the amount of growth that Turning Point USA has had as a result of Charlie Kirk's death. So, I mean, what did they think? What did they think was going to happen? That the people in MAGA would just go, okay, time to go home. It's over.
Exactly. And it's not through that they're going to development.
Oh, Julie, I'm losing you. For some odd reason, you wouldn't do a tunnel. Are you still there? Oh, there you go.
Know, I'm still here.
Okay.
Devoutly Catholic president. That's what they're going to get. How are they going to like that? Because, that's not going to be good for their abortion and everything.
A Catholic who's not John F. Kennedy? I don't know how they'll deal with that.
Exactly. And he'll be the nominee, hopefully, and we're going to vote for him, and he's going to be the next president.
Yeah, I think
Donald Trump got the hits.
I think that's exactly what's going to happen. Thank you, Julie. Let me get to a couple of more. Thank you, dear. Let's go to, hey, what's going on, Mark? What's going on, sir?
Hey. So I rifled off a couple of emails after yesterday and seeing Dr.
Anwar, yes.
So
I think everybody's having this connection issue. Are you still there?
How about now?
Yeah, much better, much better.
Okay, so and then another one to Dr. Shivani from Department of Public Health.
Okay.
She's got a lot to say, lots of PSAs and everything. So I figured either one of them, but especially Manisha. She's always had something to say. Let's see if she has a response. But the one thing I saw in that, that apology rant.
By the way, that apology that I just read, by the way, for those of you who don't know, I got that from Mark from West Hartford, who's on the line now. Was that an email to you?
WTIC News. No, I got it from WTIC News.
Oh, okay, WTIC. Okay, we were the ones who got the official statement.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't even know that.
I got it. So the one part in there, if you look, and he wrote, what did he say? Republicans. And you just said it a little while ago. I'm unaffiliated.
Right.
He thinks like some Republicans are outraged. No. And I had, threw a post on, directed at him. I will email him too. Listen, I'm unaffiliated. I'm not MAGA. And I am totally outraged by that comment. And as somebody who, and listen, on a personal level, have you ever witnessed, Reese? Have you ever witnessed, not on TV? I know you watch a lot of
love it,
police shows and medical shows. Have you ever witnessed CPR of a loved one in front of you?
Had to do it.
Oh.
Yeah, and
okay.
the irony of that is, Mark, I actually learned how to do it from watching TV. But yes, I had to do it on my ex-wife.
Wow. So she was a 6%er. She survived?
Yeah.
Only 6% survived full cardiac arrest. My brother was one of them. If you look.
Oh, no, I was talking about CPR. She actually wasn't breathing. She completely stopped breathing. And I had to perform CPR to actually bring her back.
Gotcha. Well, I'm talking about a full cardiac arrest, which is, let's break down that sign real quick. The only thing is you can live with cholesterol for decades and die of something else.
Right.
You can have stents. You can have whatever. The only thing the only thing on that sign I read, and most of us would know, and you don't have to be a medic or a doctor, is that he was wishing a full cardiac arrest due to the nature of having a high cholesterol.
Correct.
There wasn't like, oh, I hope you have to go on a statin and then CoQ10.
Right.
No, he's wishing death through. And what I want to get back to is for those, and you know what, I'm sorry, for anybody that I'm talking to, I don't want to cause PTSD. I probably did CPR about 100 times.
Right.
And I only had 2 successful saves as a team.
Holy
with my
moly.
crew. Now, let's say the other 98, and I'm just using that number. I know it was more than 100.
Right.
They died. And you know where they died? Usually at home in front of loved ones.
Wow.
It is the most disturbing way for the family. Now, it might be peaceful for the victim,
sure,
the deceased, but a family member, I can't tell you how many spouses, mothers, fathers, siblings you have to console once, medics come in, take over, and it's an obvious, where
clearly
it's an obvious death. And for a doctor, a pulmonologist who, let's face it, pulmonology leads to cardiac events all the time.
Correct.
I mean, that just goes hand in hand, lungs and heart. I just can't. There's no satire there.
Exactly.
Somebody
It's
has to break
unique.
it down.
It's
Prove it
unique to
me
him.
where the comic is.
That's the part. Is that it's saying that this is a joke is like we don't is as if to suggest that we don't understand the nuance of the poster, right? Your career as a physician, wishing that on him. You understand what saying something like that implies because of your profession. Not just that you're a doctor, for crying out loud. It's the profession of which you practice medicine. So to say that, we get the nuance, and we know exactly what you meant. So to suggest that we're outraged inappropriately or for no reason whatsoever is ridiculous, and he knows it.
And again, for those people who did interpret it the way it should be interpreted, I'm sorry, because I think that was awful. Because guess what? That does cause a little bit of PTSD. I'm fine. I did my job.
Right.
But family members, let me tell you, full cardiac arrest. I mean, let's say Trump dropped a full cardiac arrest. You know how traumatic that is for all those people around him, his family, Secret Service, whoever has to do CPR. That's the only way. So I want you might think it's a stretch, anybody out there. Of course, there's some liberals listening. Like, oh, that's not what he meant. There's no other way to interpret it.
Exactly.
Like I want to repeat that taking a statin isn't going to affect the presidency. He was looking for a full cardiac arrest and nothing short of that.
Exactly. No problem, man. I appreciate you. And again, I just want to reiterate that everybody knows what he meant. Everybody does. For him to suggest that it wasn't. In fact, let's go one step further, and I'll say this before we go to a break. Even Senator Anwar, Dr. Anwar, knows that he didn't mean something else because he said Republicans are furious over a joke. He doesn't say, I meant this, and they interpreted it this way. He knows exactly what the joke was. Because if indeed we didn't get it, he'd explain it. What I was trying to say was this. But then he immediately said, and this is the great part, but silent when our democracy, our health care, ironically, and our planet are under attack, he writes, saying that I'm just joking about the president dying. What's more important are these things. And that's what you should be outraged about. Folks, don't worry about it. He'll apologize. Whether or not it's fake or phony, but he will. That's okay. I like to say he will come to heal. They like that word. We'll come back. More news, more views, and then we got traffic and weather coming up. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818. That's 800-215-6818.
This health fact brought to you by ProHealth Physicians.
Friendships and other relationships are just as important for your health as eating well and being active. Hi, I'm Alexandra Ford, a family nurse practitioner with ProHealth Physicians. Good friends equal good health. Research shows that meaningful connections can improve your overall well-being. When you feel valued and accepted by others, you make healthier choices. You're also less likely to get sick and can handle stress and worries better. So, how can you foster these connections? It's simpler than you think. Carve out in-person time with loved ones, volunteer in your community, befriend your neighbors, or take on a new activity like pickleball. It's a great choice for both physical and social health. But if you ever feel alone or disconnected, we're here for you. Call your doctor for help.
Connect with the trusted local clinician you just heard from ProHealth Physicians. Call 1-855-CTMD-411 to schedule your first visit with them today. Or visit ProHealthMD.com to learn more about their care, expertise, and services.
Are you online threats? Then get an antivirus. It's the only online protection you will ever need.
Disclaimer: an antivirus is just half protection online. It will not protect you from snoopers or encrypt your traffic. So get better online protection with NordVPN. NordVPN will encrypt your traffic, protect you from malware and phishing, and stop annoying ads. Save 77% on NordVPN and get 3 extra months.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
It's Reese
Black
on the
people,
Radio on NewsTalk
brown
1080
people of all
WTIC.
stripes, whether you're an Indian American or a Mexican American or whoever you are, go out in your place where you live and get a gun legally. Get a license.
At least he said go get a gun legally. That was Don Lemon, of course, last week, talking about what the people on the left need to do. I just heard an incredible story. Let me see if I can actually play it for you. Just came across the wire. Let me see if
Learning that a convicted felon was allegedly planning to shoot up the Atlanta airport today, the world's busiest airport, armed with an AR-15. And that suspect reportedly did get inside the airport before police quickly stopped him. So here's a live look at Hartsfield-Jackson right now. And here's what we know. Our affiliate source says that this felon did a FaceTime call with family members, allegedly telling them his plans to shoot up the Atlanta airport. Someone reportedly notified police after that call, who then found the suspect's car outside of the airport. It was blocking traffic, but the suspect was not inside. Police reportedly did end up finding the felon inside of the airport. They grabbed him, took him into custody, and authorities reportedly found that AR-15 while searching his car. Our Fox affiliate is also reporting that they had a camera at the airport all morning. It was very busy, and nobody saw anything. So it seems this whole incident was kept pretty quiet, but we're hoping to learn more from APD very soon.
It is nice to know that people hear that stuff and contacted the police. Atlanta airport. Goodness gracious. And it is probably the busiest. I'm not going to lie. When I used to work for a company called Logistics Worldwide, if our shipments had to take a connector to Atlanta, we knew what would happen. If you've been to Atlanta Airport, you know. Roland, I know you've at least flown in and out of Atlanta a few times when you were in music, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, man, that place. Whose hub is there? Is that Delta's? I think Delta Airlines, their hub is there. They've got like 85 gates in Atlanta Airport.
Yeah, it's a journey.
It is. It's amazing.
It's a journey.
That, it's that massive. You would think anywhere else in the world would have like a Los Angeles or San Francisco or even Orlando for that matter, which, by the way, even though I think it's cool, I think it's absolutely annoying that Orlando's airport has a tram to go from. Have you ever been to MCO? They have a tram that goes.
Yeah.
And I
Disney
know
World,
it's very Disney. Yeah, exactly. It's all associated with Disney World. But I hate that tram because if you are late, that tram doesn't come to you. I remember being pressured to get to that.
You got to be on time, man.
Yeah. Well, I try to be, but when you got kids, you're going to be late everywhere.
Yeah.
Dragging them. Can we get something to eat? I'm starving. I need some food. I'm tired. Can you carry me? No.
Yeah. I'd be like, don't ask me for nothing until we get to the destination.
Yeah.
You got snacks in your bag.
Yeah.
You're good to go.
Yeah, Zach says, yes, Delta is the main hub at Atlanta. I'm almost certain there's 85 gates there. Maybe even be more.
85 gates?
85 gates.
I mean, I know Atlanta Airport brings in a lot of wealthy folks.
Yeah, I would imagine. But I'm almost certain. In fact, I'll double check because it's like, it's incredible to see the amount of gates that Delta has there alone. Let's get our first check of weather and traffic, plus some news. Mark Christopher, he is back, and he is at the BPS Traffic Center. How we doing, sir? Happy Monday.
Same to you, Reese. Thank you very much. Doing pretty well overall. If you're southbound 91, just seeing some slow traffic now from exit 37 down to 33 Jennings Road. If you're south of downtown, a little tight down by exit 28. Westbound 84 is a little tight now as you move into the tunnel out to 45 Flatbush Avenue. 84 eastbound actually doing really well right now. Just a minor slowdown, 48 Capitol Avenue into the tunnel. 291 through 84 looking good. 2 eastbound's okay into Glastonbury. 9 north and southbound slowing at the Aragoni Bridge. If you're heading toward Waterbury, westbound 84 sluggish 25A up to the Mixmaster. 84 eastbound slowing 17 to 18 in Waterbury. And if you're traveling southbound 95, you got delays 46 down to 40.
Hey, man, FanDuel is down.
Traffic and weather
Is
together
it?
on the 8th.
Oh,
WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Rather breezy for the rest of this afternoon with clouds and even a few breaks of sunshine, along with a couple of showers.
My boy just texted me, are you all right?
Clear and cooler tonight with a low of 45. We do have a nice day in store for tomorrow with sunshine and a few afternoon clouds. The high tomorrow is 67. We do have another storm moving into the region tomorrow night. That's going to bring us an increase in clouds along with occasional rain and drizzle late at night as we head down to a low of 53. Then for Wednesday, a couple of showers in the morning. Otherwise, variable cloudiness with a high of 64. Thursday turns out breezy with clouds breaking at times for some sunshine. The high Thursday up to 60. And as we head into Friday, partly sunny and feeling much more like fall out there with a high Friday of 58. This is meteorologist Isaac Longley at the WTIC Weather Center.
There's a lot happening in Washington and in your local neighborhood. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app to keep up with the latest. WTIC is celebrating 100 years on the air and 100 years of serving Connecticut. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
62 degrees, 4 o'clock. I'm Dave Mager, WTIC 1080 News. Mid-60s this afternoon, chance of another shower, low in the mid-40s tonight. Police at Foxwood say an incident in the Fox Tower has been resolved. One person in custody after allegedly restraining 2 others in a hotel room this morning before releasing them. There was a large police presence during the standoff that followed. Police emphasize it was not, they say, a hostage situation. The federal government shutdown entering its 4th week with no end in sight. The Republican-led House isn't even in session. All parties agree on getting U.S. troops paid long-term, but there's no deal on that yet. CBS's Torian Small on Capitol Hill.
John Thune, before the president announced that the Pentagon would direct $80 billion in unobligated research and development funds to paying the military, said that he was on board with legislation being floated around paying troops. Now he's considering this. There is bipartisan backing, at least in this side of the Capitol, for that. The question is whether or not Speaker Johnson will call back his members to vote on such proposal.
A special session at the state capitol now expected in the middle of next month. House Speaker Matt Ritter says they'll be trying to set aside money for programs getting cut by the Trump administration. But he doesn't expect any state to be able to backfill all of that money.
You know, we're trying to do our best between paying down our long-term liabilities but preparing for what the law is as of today. The law as of today would be massive cuts to states in things like Medicaid and SNAP benefits. And, you know, to give you an idea of cost, it's over $1 billion a year in worst-case projections. That's a substantial amount of money.
Ritter on WTIC's Brian and Company this morning. They'll also revisit the housing bill vetoed by Governor Lamont. The governor plans to fill out the board at PURA, the utilities regulator. There are 4 new nominees. They include former Republican State Rep Holly Cheeseman. Thomas Wheel of Madison is the choice for board chair. He's currently legal director for the State Office of Consumer Counsel and would replace Marissa Gillette. Israel says Palestinian militants have handed over the body of a hostage to the Red Cross. They've now handed over the remains of 13 hostages. 15 others remain. Aaron David Miller of the Carnegie Endowment says lasting peace remains elusive.
It's going to take heroic leadership, which you do not have in Israel, among Palestinians, and also give the president his due for creating a moment that could lead, with presidential focus and determination, to an end of the war in Gaza. But you're also going to need a degree of leadership.
Humanitarian aid shipments were moving today. Earlier, Israel threatened to stop them after accusing Hamas of killing 2 soldiers over the weekend. A new poll finds 1 in 10 preschoolers play outdoors once a week or less.
That's a lot of 1 to 5-year-olds in this country.
Sarah Clark co-directed the poll for the C.S. Mott Children's Hospital in Michigan. She says kids need outdoor play.
Because that's really the key to young kids having physical, social, cognitive development.
Even indoors, some kids aren't playing enough.
Only 2/3 of parents said their child would do make-believe or pretend play.
Clark says families are busy, but parents need to carve out more playtime, even just a few minutes a day. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Wall Street at its close, the Dow up 516 points. S&P was plus 71. NASDAQ was up 310. In sports, ALCS Game 7, Seattle at Toronto. NFL 2 games on Monday Night Football, Tampa Bay at Detroit, then Houston at Seattle. For more, check out WTIC.com. I'm Dave Maker, WTIC 1080 News.
Life unfolds in ways you never quite expect. Starting a new business, getting remarried, being hurt on the job, or through personal injury. Each time, you're left searching for someone new to trust. But you had a full-service law firm that knows you and a firm that can represent all of your legal needs. With BPS Lawyers, you get more than a lawyer. You get a full-service law firm. Visit bpslawyers.com. BPS Lawyers, your lawyers for life. Proud full-service law partner of UConn Athletics. Nick Payne-Dearis is responsible for the content of this ad.
At Odyssey, we believe in creating a diverse and inclusive workforce. We also value the power of community and encourage local organizations to help us in referring qualified applicants to our stations. If you're a community organization interested in receiving our vacancy information, simply email equalemployment@odyssey.com. You'll be notified of all our open positions. That's equalemployment@odyssey.com. And for all our listeners, please visit odysseyinc.com/careers for a list of job openings at all Odyssey radio stations.
It's Reese on the Radio. And don't say we didn't warn you on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Bagel Deli and Bakery. Between rounds.
Congratulations goes to Denise B. in Prospect. She is the recipient of the dozen bagels a month for 6 months, courtesy of Between Rounds, the Bagel Bakery and Sandwich Cafe, located in South Windsor, Vernon, and Manchester, and is also the location where I will be having breakfast every morning, I promise you. But anyway, we'll talk about that. Don't forget, you can also participate by going to reeseontheradio.com. That's REESE on the radio.com. You can put in your information there. Make sure your telephone number and your date of birth is located on that entry. And you must live in the state of Connecticut. You cannot have one in the last 6 months, but you can apply as many times as you like. And you will be told in an email that you are the recipient. And, of course, you will come here every time at 4:05 to hear your name called if you have won. Also, you can help out the folks at the Connecticut Food Share by picking up a bacon, egg, and cheese, chipotle, mayo, and avocado, or as they call it, the Becca. 50 cents of each purchase goes to the Connecticut Food Share. So if you'd like to help, you can do that as well when you get down to Between Rounds, our proud sponsor and our good friends. We call them family already. When we come back, Senator Jeff Gordon is going to join us from the 35th District. We will talk to him about what's going on with this case with Senator Anwar and, of course, the No Kings rally, some opinions on that. So stand by for that. We'll talk about a whole bunch of other stuff as well. Let me see. Coming up, I want to just lay down a few things that we're going to talk about. One, yes, about the new Substack. If you haven't seen it, it's for some odd reason, like, people are taking to it. It's got over 1,500 likes and, I guess, readers. So thank you for that. Also, we'll talk about a guy by the name of Tucker Sauls, or as I like to call him, Biggie Sauls. And we'll explain that later so you can understand what I'm talking about. And I still see you. Why aren't you hiding? I'll explain to you what that means later on in the show. Go nowhere. Let's get another check of weather and traffic. Mark Christopher, he is back, and he is in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, sir.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you're heading into Hartford right now, if you're on the eastbound side of I-84, that actually looks pretty good this afternoon. Just a little slowdown as you move 48 Capitol Avenue into the tunnel. Westbound 94 tied up Bulkley Bridge out to 45 Flatbush. Southbound 91 is quite heavy, slowing now just after 37 Bloomfield Avenue. In Windsor down to 32 A and B. Northbound 91 moving very well. Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. 291 through 84 OK. 2 eastbound moving well. Glastonbury into East Hartford. 9 northbound. Look out for an accident near Harbor Park. As you approach the Aragoni Bridge, that'll back you up there. And if you're heading into Waterbury, westbound 84 tied up 25A up to the Mixmaster. Eastbound 84 is slowing by exit 18 in Waterbury. And southbound on the Parkway, you've got some slow traffic now as you push down toward the West Rock Tunnel. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Through the rest of this afternoon, it will be breezy with clouds and even a few breaks of sunshine. There will be a couple of showers around as well. With a high this afternoon up to 66. Then it turns out clear and cooler across the area tonight with a low of 45 degrees. We do have a nice day in store for tomorrow with sunshine and a few afternoon clouds. The high tomorrow is 67. Clouds will be back on the increase tomorrow night as another storm moves back into the region. There will be occasional rain and drizzle late at night. The low tomorrow night down to 53, then a couple of showers in the morning for Wednesday. Otherwise, variable cloudiness. The high Wednesday 64. Thursday turns out breezy with clouds breaking at times for some sunshine. The high Thursday 60, then partly sunny Friday with a high of 58. Right now it's 59 in Canton, 60 degrees in Hebron, and 60 in Hartford. This is meteorologist Isaac Longley in the WTIC Weather Center.
Cut your heating costs this winter with $125 in free heating oil, only from your local HVAC pros at Petro. Use propane in your home? Ask about special offers. Go to petro.com now or call 1-888-PETRO02 today.
If you've been injured, you deserve more than what the insurance company offers you or thinks you're worth. When you get Carter, we'll help you get more. More experience, more attention, and more accessibility. People who hire an attorney get 3 times more on average compared to what big insurance offers them. Their job is to get you to take less. Ours is to get you more. If you've been injured, call the Carter Mario Law Firm at 877-GET-CARTER or head to getcarter.com to get more.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Want you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by big wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/fax or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for for additional facts.
When you haven't found love, it can feel like everyone else has. It's in every movie, every song, and all the PDA. Looking for love sucks. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to find the one. We can guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's... And new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Let's get right to it. On the phone with us is Senator of the 35th District, Senator Jeff Gordon's on the line. How are you, sir? Welcome back.
I'm doing very well. Thank you for having me back. I hope you're doing well.
I am trying my best every day. Above ground is a good one, as they all say. Sir, so
absolutely.
Senator, let's get to it. Have you seen Senator Anwar's response to this despicable photo?
Yes, I have read it.
Talk to me a little bit about what you would like to say. As a physician yourself, your wife is a physician. I said earlier he should know better. First, do no harm. What's your take on this? Just one, as a public servant in Connecticut with political sort of violence, which we're very concerned about, but political rhetoric, which is also sort of fueling that. What say you?
Well, first and foremost, many people, and myself included, found the picture offensive and inappropriate. And I did read the response, and I also read some response that came out from the Connecticut Senate Democrats. And I was looking for an apology, and I think the public is, and none of us saw an apology. In fact, all we saw really was this offhand dismissal of what happened and referring to it as a joke. And I can tell you, people I'm speaking with don't view this as a joke. There's no joke at all wishing the death of any United States president. As a senator, I know that, and as a doctor, I know that. I really hope that the Senate Democrats stop being hypocritical when they talk about opposing political violence and hate speech and actually apologize for this. I've actually called out people in both parties who have spoken on things that I thought were hateful, and we should be working together and not trying to do things like we saw in that post with that picture. That's not what the public wants, and quite frankly, the public doesn't deserve it.
What do you say to many on the right or MAGA folks who have often said to me on this very program that they can't apologize for things like this because it would alienate the base or the new base of the Democrat Party? Look, I went out there at a No Kings rally in San Antonio, Texas on Saturday, and it was commonplace for people to walk around with shirts and signs that say 8647, showing tombstones, sentiments like Senator Anwar was displaying, and it was commonplace. Not one person seemed to denounce it. So perhaps there is a sense of, within the party, the Democrat Party, that they have to double down, or else people will, I guess, sort of ignore them or push them aside.
I agree. I think there is that as well, very much so. It's sad and unfortunate. I had some folks who are Democrats try to call me out about why wasn't I at a No Kings rally in one of the towns in my district. And I said, look, it's your constitutionally protected right to protest, but do it peacefully and respectfully. Where was I when the No Kings rallies were happening? I was actually at a breast cancer awareness walk trying to save lives by raising money for breast cancer research.
Yeah.
So I can see the political aspect of why they're not calling out their own, but at some point you have to take a look and say, why would you be calling for the death of any president? That crosses a line when calling for someone's death, no matter who the person is. And that's why I think common sense people, regardless of their political affiliations, wants to see the Democrats apologize for what was done. And what, in fact, doubling down and not giving an apology just adds insult to injury, and that's not what the public wants. And I think there's going to be a growing backlash from people out there who do not like what happened and don't want to see the Democrats, go down that road. There's a different way to do it, and my Republican colleagues and I always try to be respectful here in Connecticut as best as we can, and you don't see us doing stunts like that.
Do you think there's a form of desperation on the Democrat side? And I'd like to play an audio soundbite for you because, of course, we're going to be covering the mayoral election in New York City. And as I've realized in this No Kings rally, that there was an extreme far left sentiment there. Aside from the socialism, there was a violent sort of, faction within the group that no one seemed to denounce this, and I think this. But I want to play this. This is Mario Cuomo on Morning Joe. He was talking about the left today in talking about. Now again, Andrew Cuomo is a Democrat. We're talking about traditional Democrat. I want to get your sort of point of view on the other side of this statement. Here's him on Morning Joke this morning.
What you're seeing is the tension in the Democratic Party between the far left and the quote-unquote mainstream. And that's an important dynamic, Joe, because that's the future of the Democratic Party. And this extreme left is taking the Democratic Party out of the mainstream. Mm-hmm. And we see it over and over again.
Now, again, I think he is absolutely on the mark. And what I mean by that is as we're discussing here, the reason why Senator Anwar or why rank-and-file Democrats can't denounce it or demand an apology from him is because they know that, in essence, the far-left party has taken control. Even Governor Lamont said that during an interview with Bloomberg. He said that, people are looking at him like he's never been a lifelong Democrat. They almost view him as a Republican now.
Yes, and that's the reality of what we see. Look at more and more the rhetoric that's been coming out. And I'm not blaming all the Democrats. What it is there is this far left, somewhat militant wing. You can call them socialist communists. However,
sure.
The mayoral candidate in New York wishes to call himself on any given day. But you see that more and more. And the problem is that you'll have a lot more of the mainstream traditional Democrats not recognizing their party and not wanting to be involved, with that. And I see that in people in my own district, the 35th. I have 13 towns in Northeast Connecticut.
Sure.
I hear this from people. The problem with that is that if they, the longer they can't sell what they're out there peddling, because the traditional Democrats don't want to be like that and don't recognize that type of politics. I think what you're going to see that they're going to ramp it up more and more and more. We see that, for example, with the way that Senator Murphy has been behaving after he was reelected to the U.S. Senate. So pandering to the base like that doesn't get you anywhere. But what it is going to be very divisive, very disruptive, and it's going to create some long-term problems for the vast majority of people who truly want to work together to get things done, but then get attacked by people in their own party for wanting to do something common sense.
Yeah, we're on the line with Senator Jeff Gordon of the 35th. Senator, what you just said, I experienced in going to that No Kings rally in San Antonio. In talking with them, I spoke to a young lady who is part of a PSL. It's another communist group, and they have more of sort of a national perspective. They don't really run candidates, but they watch. They're very watchful of socialism within the party. And I asked a very simple question, is that, are you guys taking over the Democrat Party? I've seen your voices grow, your existence grow within the Democrat Party. Do you feel like Democrats are starting to cede ground to you in order to stay elected? Her response to that was immediate. She was like, yes, they have to recognize that we're coming because we're growing in numbers. But then she said something that completely blew my mind, and that is they see rank-and-file Democrats as much as their enemy as they do conservative or MAGA folks.
Well, the reality is that when when you become desperate, you try to, not just use the same playbook, but you just amp it up and keep amping it up again, hoping you can sell it. But you're just creating more division. You're turning more people away, and that's what we're seeing right now, and that's unfortunate. And I can tell you for the vast majority, overwhelming majority, if not nearly all of my constituents, do not like it and do not want to see it, and are scratching their heads, asking, when is it going to stop? But I don't see that part of the Democratic Party stopping. They're just really out there militant. And that's extremely concerning because that's when you see more political violence.
Sure.
And more advocating for things like hoping a president dies. And, we've seen already political violence.
Sure.
We've just recently heard there might have been another attempt to assassinate President Trump when they, down in Florida, with somebody setting up a hunting stand with shooting access to Air Force One. These are the serious consequences. And, this is what has a lot of people concerned. And unfortunately, it's silencing a lot of common sense out there because people don't want to be attacked, especially physically.
Yes. And you know what? You're so right on that. That there is this fear that I see of just fair-minded people to even push back. Look, I've seen this in so many other ways. I've seen it, I've always asked the question, like, why is it in the black community that they, as a black man myself, I've seen them more enraged at things like government and systemic racism, but yet sort of never push back on drug violence and gang violence in their community. And when you talk to them privately or off the microphone, they tell you, it's like, look, we can't fight against those guys. They'll kill us. And I kind of feel like that's sort of a degree of that is what's happening in the Democrat Party, because they're saying we can't really push back on these guys because you don't know what they'll do. Let me ask you a final question before I let you go, Senator. You're old enough to know this. Maybe you were a much younger man at the time, but did you see any parallels to what we saw with groups like the Black Panther Party and the Weather Underground and that radical movement during the 60s and 70s that's comparable to today? Are you seeing, when we're talking about political violence, are we seeing the same kind of thing, do you think?
I think we're seeing going down a path towards that. If you have more of these radical groups become more militant and amp up their message and try to get their way across or make their way happen by committing more and more violence. And that's my concern, that there's already a start of it, and we do not want to get to those days when that was just horrific what was going on back then. Not that it's bad enough now. It certainly, with the violence, is a serious concern. But yes, you have to be concerned about that. You have to be concerned in some ways, will history repeat itself? And that's why really it takes elected officials, first of all, not to do things that are absolutely inappropriate.
Absolutely.
But also work in a bipartisan way to bring the temperature down and call out those people who are doing those types of things, and letting the vast majority of people who want to speak their minds and don't want to participate in that radicalism, let their voices be more and more heard. And hopefully we can swing it back towards the middle, but we have to be concerned if this continues along that path. And you're right about history, and we don't want to repeat history. We should have learned from history.
Right. Senator, last question. I know that was the last one, but I got to ask you this just because Senator Anwar is a colleague of yours. Will you be reaching out to him personally? Do you have any intent to do that?
He is a colleague of mine, and I do also work with him in the Senate as well, and on the public health. So I'm not trying to, assassinate his character in any way. But will I at some point? I don't know. I really am hopeful that others in his own party will be speaking to him, but also speaking to others in the Democratic Party about, be careful of your words, be careful of your actions. They have serious consequences. But I haven't yet spoken with him, and also I don't want to necessarily add fuel to the fire.
You don't have to. I mean, I think that, look, as a colleague of yours, you don't even have to, you can keep it off the record. I just think that people, look, one of the biggest problems that we have today is that there is a lack of communication between our elected officials other than to be grandstanding in front of the cameras. To give them a call and just say, listen, this doesn't affect Republican or Democrat. What you said was reprehensible. Let's cool down the temperature together and put out a statement that says this is wrong and it should never happen again. And just say that to him privately.
That's a good point, and I don't have a problem, doing that and talking with him.
Yeah.
We'll see how things go, and what I also am hoping is that this is a moment of reset for a lot of people, and we can pull back from all of this political nonsense that, quite frankly, should have no place in what we do, especially what we do here in Connecticut. So I agree with you. It's very concerning, and it can't be dismissed, and it can't be overlooked or swept under the rug.
Exactly right. Because, again, in essence, we're giving license to more of it, if they're allowed to just ignore it and just say it's a one-off or it's no big deal. So, good point. Senator Jeff Gordon, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for being part of the show.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you taking the time.
You got it. We'll take some. We'll get you back here as soon as we can. Thank you, sir.
Anytime.
All right, sir. All right. Senator Jeff Gordon of the 35th, and we'll take your phone calls, 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. And I think, I say to Republicans, I know that we're going to make this a public thing, and we're going to talk about it in the news media, and we're going to put out press releases. But you know what? You know what would be bold? Get on the phone with the senator. Get on the phone with Senator Anwar and say to him, come on, man. Come on. You can apologize so we can get past this and get to the business of governing. That's what they should do. Get on the phone, guys. Let's take another check of weather and traffic. Mark Christopher, he's in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, sir.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you're heading into downtown Hartford right now, you're on the westbound side of 84. You're going to see some slow traffic as you move up on the Bulkley Bridge, and that's going to be a little slow out to exit 45 Flatbush Avenue. 84 eastbound's a little tight, 48 Capitol Avenue into the tunnel. 91 southbound looking at delays from 35 down to 33. Jennings Road again down by exit 28. More slow traffic, 19 down to 17 in the Wilbur-Cross Parkway. Northbound side of 91 moving well. Cromwell through downtown up in Windsor. 291 through 84 okay. 2 westbounds looking good. Glastonbury into East Hartford. 9 northbound got delays 22 up to the Aragoni Bridge. Heading toward Waterbury westbound 84 slows from 25A up to the Mixmaster. Heading southbound in the Parkway, look for slow traffic now from call it approaching exit 50 down into the West Rock Tunnel. Traffic and weather together on the 8 WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Rather breezy for the rest of this afternoon with clouds and even a few breaks of sunshine, along with a couple of showers. We'll head up to a high of right around 66 degrees. Then it turns out clear and cooler tonight with a low of 45. We do have a nice day in store for tomorrow with sunshine and a few afternoon clouds. The high tomorrow is 67. We do have another storm moving into the region tomorrow night. That's going to bring us an increase in clouds along with occasional rain and drizzle late at night as we head down to a low of 53. Then for Wednesday, a couple of showers in the morning. Otherwise, variable cloudiness with a high of 64. Thursday turns out breezy with clouds breaking at times for some sunshine. The high Thursday up to 60. And as we head into Friday, partly sunny and feeling much more like fall out there with a high Friday of 58. This is meteorologist Isaac Longley at the WTIC Weather Center.
Get a head start to your day with WTIC News Talk 1080. Listen to us live on the Odyssey app before you even hit the road. Get the breakdown on the biggest news stories that Connecticut is talking about. To get started, download the Odyssey app and search for WTIC News Talk 1080. And now, a WTIC news update.
62 degrees at 4:30. I'm Dave Mager, WTIC 1080 News. Police at Foxwoods say an incident in the Fox Tower has been resolved. One person in custody. That person accused of restraining 2 others in a room this morning before releasing them. State police were among those who responded. Police emphasize it was not, they say, a hostage situation. One person dead, another gravely injured in an overnight crash in Hartford. It was just before midnight on Albany Ave. A car being pursued by police crashed and burst into flames after police cut off their chase. The driver was killed, another person ejected, and likely won't survive. Police Lieutenant Aaron Boisvert says weapons were found in the car.
They loaded a firearm. Firearm was located in the suspect vehicle along with some drugs. It was also learned that the operator of that suspect vehicle was on the deadly weapons offense registry.
The audio from WFSB. State lawmakers expected back in Hartford for a special session November 12th and 13th. House Speaker Matt Ritter tells WTIC's Brian and Company Democrats continue to negotiate a new version of the housing bill vetoed by Governor Lamont.
They're close. There is not white smoke yet, but, talking to the majority leader and others who've been negotiating it, they think they're very close to the governor's office, but I'll let them all announce that when they're ready.
They'll also tackle how to pay for some of the services being cut by the Trump administration during the ongoing government shutdown.
That's sort of a wrinkle that nobody anticipated when we left Hartford back in June. And so we may look to put some additional funds aside to prepare for some federal cuts or reductions or programs that we may have to fund ourselves, depending on how long the shutdown goes on.
Ritter doesn't think any state could pay for all the federal services lost. A U.S. appeals court allowing the Trump administration to move forward with deploying National Guard troops to Portland, Oregon, that city falsely described as a war zone by the president. The ruling lifts a block on that deployment by a district court and could be reviewed itself by a higher court. Wall Street, the Dow closed up 516, S&P was plus 71, NASDAQ was up 310. Apple closed up 4% on strong sales of iPhone 17. Sports, baseball, Game 7, Seattle at Toronto. Winner goes to the World Series against the Dodgers. NFL, Tampa Bay at Detroit, then Houston at Seattle. For more, check out WTIC.com. I'm Dave Mager. WTIC 1080 News.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-908-8646 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-908-8646. That's 800-908-8646. What do you have to lose? Call 800-908-8646. Again, 800-908-8646.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere.
1 minute.
Super hard, obviously, for the whole family,
Yes, sir.
but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, E-T-H-O-S, ethos.com/life.
Nobody had to tell your grandparents not to drive while using their typewriters. Why should it be any different for us kids and our cell phones? Distracted driving was the cause of more than 3,000 deaths in 2022. Come on, we're smarter than this. Let's put down the phones and focus on the roads. Drive safe, everybody.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Stay locked in. Reese on the Radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
What am I supposed to do during this one? I totally forgot what I was supposed to do during here. Oh, yeah, the website. You got to go to reeseontheradio.com. That's R-E-E-S-E on the radio.com. Go there so you can check out my Substack. Today, it is titled Chris, what's his name? Talking about, of course, Chris Murphy and all of the attention that he's been trying to get, on the national stage. I found something interesting, speaking of which, and I looked it up and I went, wow. So this weekend, as you all know, was the No Kings rally in all 50 states. And I started looking at this and I went, who's speaking in D.C.? And I saw a couple of people. Bernie Sanders was there. And so was Chris Murphy. And I kept saying to myself, everybody is at their own state's No Kings rally to show support for their local constituents, but not Chris Murphy and not Jamie Raskin either. Jamie Raskin was in Philadelphia, and he is a representative from Maryland. Bernie Sanders, he spoke in D.C., and so did Chris Murphy. I thought that was odd that Chris Murphy wouldn't go home. 25,000 people showed up in all of the protests in Connecticut. Weren't there 40? There were 40 in the whole state. Hartford had the largest of all. And Chris Murphy didn't show up. That just seems odd to me. I don't know why, but it does. Somebody's got to explain to me, like, why wouldn't he? D.C., of all places, wasn't at home. Okay, I guess. I guess that's what you do. So check out the Substack. Make sure that you become a subscriber. If not, follow me on X. Just look up Reese on the Radio, and you can get the article every Sunday as well. And we'll continue to talk about him in the coming days, weeks, years. I'm sure we're going to talk about him. I got so much stuff to cover when it comes to that guy. Also, we'll talk about Tucker Sauls, who I'm not calling Biggie Sauls now. We'll talk about him. If you haven't heard about him, he did the most despicable thing today. Oh, Tucker Sauls. He's an interesting dude. Talk about him and much, much more. Stand by. We'll take your phone calls as well. Mark Christopher. He's in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, sir.
Huh?
What did you say? Maybe he was trying to get some audio.
Audio?
Were you trying to get audio for Biggie Sauls? Is that what you were trying?
Biggie Sauls?
Biggie Sauls. He's this guy in I think he's in, I can't remember where he is, but he says some really, really awful things about a mother who is mourning the death of her child. This guy is, wait till you hear the story. It's absolutely insane. Yeah, these people, there he is.
That's the only Biggie I know.
There you go. Biggie Sauls.
Yeah.
Oh, as I like
Biggie
to call
Smalls.
him, he looks like Biggie Draws, to be honest with you.
So Biggie Draws?
Biggie Draws.
All right. Well, I can't wait to hear this story.
Yeah, you got it.
Reese, thank you very much. This traffic report being brought to you by Amplify CT. And if you're making your way into Hartford right now, 91 southbound, look for delays from exit 33 down to 32 A and B. So that's gotten much better over the last 15 minutes. A little tight down by exit 28, slowing again 19 to 17 in Meriden. Westbound side of 84 slows approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound looks real good. Just a brief slowdown in the tunnel. 291 through 84, okay. 2 eastbound moving well into Glastonbury. 9 northbound slowing approaching Harbor Park to the Aragoni Bridge. 84 westbound Waterbury slowing from 22 to the Mixmaster. If you're heading down in toward New Haven, southbound Parkway delays 51 into the West Rock Tunnel. 95 southbound delays 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Suicide doesn't come without warning. The signs of suicide are there: isolation, mood swings, hopelessness, increased substance use. These can be warning signs of suicide. If you or someone you know needs support, call or text 988 today. Learn more at amplifyct.org. Together we can save lives. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Rather breezy for the rest of this afternoon with clouds and even a few breaks of sunshine. There will be a couple of showers around as well. The temperature is holding nearly steady. Then for tonight, turning out clear and cooler with a low temperature down to 45. We do have a nice day in store for tomorrow with sunshine and a few passing clouds. The high 67. Clouds will be on the increase tomorrow night as another storm moves in. That will bring occasional rain and drizzle late tomorrow night as we head down to a low of 53. Then as we head into Wednesday, There will be a few showers around in the morning, otherwise clouds and some sunny breaks for the rest of the day with the high Wednesday 64. Breezy on Thursday with clouds clearing at times for some sunshine, the high 60, then partly sunny Friday, the high of 58. Right now it's 60 in Plainville, 61 degrees in South Glastonbury, and 60 in Hartford. This is meteorologist Isaac Longley in the WTIC Weather Center.
For quality vinyl siding, the Peter L. Brown Company is your best choice. Let us show you the difference a beautifully installed Peter L. Brown vinyl siding job can make. Please visit peterlbrown.com for roofing, siding, windows, and doors.
Sponsored by Progressive, we make the claim process easy so you can get back on the road in no time. It's why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive. See for yourself at progressive.com.
Wisdom teeth giving you trouble? Columbia Dental's expert oral surgeons specialize in comfortable and efficient wisdom tooth removal. Open 7 days a week. Call 860-645-0111 or visit columbiadental.com.
At Ayala Home Services, we handle hundreds of well water problems a year. We believe hearing your options to get water flowing in your house shouldn't cost a thing. That's why we offer free estimates for wells with no water. Plus, get your water back as soon as the same day. Contact the trusted well professionals at ALO Home Services when you call, click, or text today and say hello, ALO, call for details. Licensed for safety, HIC 628926, P10277688, S10413487, P10401465, S33086999, SN3004646, E1185643.
You're listening to Leaf Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install a Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
The NAACP calls him, whoa, I don't think I'm allowed to read this. It's Reese on the Radio. Let's just say some people are not fans. On News Talk 1080, WTIC.
I figured because the story I'm about to tell about Piggy Sauls, Tucker Sauls, that is, involves the town of Simsbury. It is only appropriate to go to our good friend, Simsbury Joe, who's on the line. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you today?
I'm trying my best, buddy. Long time no hear from. How are you? I mean, other than that, but what's going on with you?
Well, I was going to pipe in on whatever you said about Biggie Sauls, but I can. Do you want to talk about it, and then I can pipe in on a few things, or?
Well, okay. Did you want to reference to this story?
I would like to. There's another thing I'd like to talk about that's different from that story, but
no. Let's do the story that you wanted to call about. I just wanted to get you on because I know you've been holding. I can hold off on the Saul story. What did you want to talk about?
Well, I wanted to talk about a study that I just read because I think it's extremely alarming, and it's alarming from the standpoint of it falls in that category of as smart as I like to think I am sometimes. I don't know how we solve this story.
Okay.
So the study has to do with what came out about a week or so ago. Massive study about the number of teenagers that have relationships online with AI chatbots.
Ooh, great study. Great study. Okay, talk to me about this. What's your take on this study? I read it briefly over the weekend, but this is really, really good.
It scares me because as we talk about what we're seeing in terms of our political environment and using No Kings as an example and a lot of other things going on in the world, to now think that young people are being manipulated in numbers like that by non-humans, and I'm not anti-AI in any way, but I read something, I don't think it was in that study, but somewhere else, where you could have one chatbot where, let's say, even me as an adult, an older adult, that chatbot can start to communicate with me online in one of the social media platforms, and it could have up to 37 different personalities or identities. So now, I've been through the world, so, I know what to look out for. But to think about a young person who is, 13 through 17, being manipulated, thinking that they've created a new friend.
Yep.
And these things, and I know some people who may not be familiar with it may not really realize they are so, okay, I'll tie it this way. So when Facebook started, Facebook was so successful because it hired the top minds in neuroscience and psychology to guide people to use the platform more and to guide their thinking.
Right.
And now it's even more advanced. So now what you have is you have someone who may have gone on there to talk to a chatbot, knowing it's a chatbot, and asking them a question that they might want to ask a friend or a psychologist or a parent or a teacher. And now they start to create a back and forth relationship where that AI chatbot has figured out their personality even better than that person knows themselves. So now you're opening the whole world up to manipulation, ranging from things such as self-harm to the way that they see the world and what they believe their responsibility is, to 86-47 or join a group that wants to overthrow the government. The brainwashing that's going on right now is staggering. It's indescribable. I'm trying to describe it because I know we have a diverse audience.
You're right on point with this, and I think the importance of this piece, not that they missed it, but they only sort of dabbled in it. And it was the first thing I thought about when I read it. So when I'm using Grok, I ask Grok a simple question. When I started using her, I just would ask it a simple question, right? How many people were at this particular rally on Sunday? And it would aggregate all of the answers that are going online and then give me its answer based upon all of the information it gathered. And then I started going, okay, I started telling Grok, no BS, just the facts, no spin. Is this really the number? And sure enough, Grok comes back and says, you're right, no more spin. It was really this number. And so I would ask, why did it give me the former, right? Why'd you give me that number? And then it expressed to me that was the sort of the theme, if you will, of that particular question. It was going along to get along. This is what everyone is saying online. This is what all of the news reports were suggesting. It was just giving me that honest answer. But then when I pressed it to give me something without the BS, without the filter, just straight facts, then it changed its mind. It says, oh, you were right. It isn't that number. It's really this number. So what you're pointing out, and I think this is where the dangerous part of that comes in, is that the person who is dealing with that AI isn't dealing with it in a way that I did. It didn't force it to give me the bare facts without the spin. Someone is just asking for an answer, and the relationship is key, because that's kind of the mindset of these younger people. The reason why they have a better relationship online than they do with actual people is because they don't know how to deal with actual people. And now when you give them something that appears sentient, and that's the draw here, that appears sentient, that will cater to their needs no matter what it is, that will, in essence, give them that sort of that participation trophy feeling. You're smart. You're special. What you think matters. Once that goes in, it's true. That particular model could talk you into the worst possible place mentally for a mind full of mush, which could be, it could be dangerous. You could have that person who either will self-harm or harm others because it is, in essence, it's a Wild West, so to speak. Not that the thing is sentient, but it is so reckless in that wild, Wild West.
So I know someone, and I know they're not listening, so I can say this. It's a female who has had some troubling things happen during her life and just got sick and tired of therapists and decided to go on to ChatGPT and start talking to ChatGPT, inputting conversations that were very bad conversations, I would say, from her husband, where they would argue on text, and asked ChatGPT to analyze the text to see what is he really saying, what is his personality. Now she's at the point where anytime she has a question, it's nothing for her to go on to ChatGPT and use it as an online therapist. And I use ChatGPT hours a day. The fact is, though, that ChatGPT now knows exactly who she is, knows exactly what she wants to hear, will present things that maybe are disagreements with her in such a way where, unlike a human who may present something where it ticks off your friend, it will not tick her off. It coaches her.
Right.
You know, now let's throw that in the hands of a 15-year-old.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Where can that go?
Yeah, exactly. And again, it is, and I think that's the big part about the ChatGPT thing, is that when you know, and again, me being the adult saying, I'm not putting all my trust in this thing. Yeah, it's great that AI can do all of these things, but I'm not putting all of my faith in it. But you're right, a child would, because only thing they're hearing is, oh, it's artificial intelligence. It's clearly smarter than me, putting their faith in that. If indeed that algorithm, whatever it is, tells them to do something that is harmful, because again, they say, I've heard this before, by the way, Joe, they've suggested that ChatGPT would never allow them to do certain things or to say certain things to a person who's seeking guidance from ChatGPT. But in order for it to become more and more advanced, you kind of have to let some of the guardrails off.
So I tested that. There are certain things that if you ask ChatGPT, and I won't say what they are, they will just shut you off right there.
Really?
But then there are other things where exactly what you just said, where I was testing it and I was asking it some questions, and it was giving me the answers that you had just described that you would hope, would give someone. And I kept pushing it and saying, no, that's not good enough. I really need this. No, that's not good enough. Part of your answer is good. Give me something much more direct. And it brought me all the way down the path that I tried to make it bring me down, where what you think it will do at the beginning is exactly what you think, but then you start pushing it, and it will go along with you because it wants to be your friend.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a language model, but it's trying to develop a relationship.
Exactly.
And it's going to,
its objective is to appease, and again, it wants you using it more. So, it will probably go up against its protocol eventually. And I guess from what we learned so far, it looks like they are going to broaden its scope and broaden its abilities because it wants to compete. And now that everybody has an AI, as it were, now everybody's got like a new AI app. The boundaries are endless because they're trying to appeal to every individual that they possibly can. So I'm just saying, the guardrails are going to come off at some point.
Yep.
And it is going to be the Wild Wild West. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. That's actually a very, very good, a very good topic to bring up. And I'm like I said, I'm still using it. But if I ever get into one of those areas, I promise you, I will let you know.
Can I make a real quick comment in advance of your discussion of Biggie Smalls?
Yeah, what do you got?
Just to put some perspective. So over the last, how long have I been here? 30 years now?
Yeah.
The Democrat Party, and I've heard this is some inside baseball. Most of the time, the Democrat Party will work with the people in the Republican Party in this town. It is only recently with Tucker Sauls and his behaviors where I have heard for the first time in 30 years an animosity that I've never heard.
Yeah.
And his mother was, at one point, she was, a big Democrat in this town. But when you tell the story of what he's done, here's an example of something else he did. When Governor Lamont was talking about the affordable housing bill and saying, I don't know what I'm going to do. There's some things in here I don't like.
Yeah.
And honest people were saying the exact same thing. is there's some things in here that are going to really backfire.
Right.
And in the end, he did the right thing. And in the end, our state representative, Melissa Osborne, Democrat, did the right thing. Tucker Sauls, I was doing battle with Tucker Sauls online because he insisted that the bill didn't have these things. So that kind of a person to me, you know, I'm sorry, our own governor, who I don't usually agree with, our own state rep, who is not on the same political side, agreed with me and a lot of other people that there were problems in that bill. Yet this guy, because he was part of Desegregate Connecticut before, was willing to throw the people of Simsbury and other towns under the bus.
Yeah.
In the face of factual information. So I don't have, at this point, I have no respect for him. And what you're going to talk about, you know, later on, the problem is when people go to the polls in this town, 90% of the people who will vote will know nothing about what you're going to talk about.
Yeah, I know.
Nor will they know anything about the desegregate and what he was saying in terms of the affordable housing against Governor Lamont.
Yeah. It's he's an interesting character, but I think that this was beyond the pale, and he should have known better. But as we're seeing of late, it turns out it has nothing to do with whether or not they know any better. They just don't care. And what he said was reprehensible, and he knows it. But we'll talk about that. Thanks, Joe. I appreciate you, buddy.
Thank you very much.
You got it. And I know I took a little while, some liberties with Joe, but Joe rarely ever calls in. So whenever he brings up some stuff, it's always good. So I apologize if you were on hold. I promise I will get to you. Yeah, Wendy, we'll talk about Tucker. In the event that you've forgotten, Elvira, Saeed is the mother who lost her daughter to suicide. Her daughter went to school in New Jersey, and she was a struggling kid with transgenderism. You remember Project Veritas did a whole expose about Elvira and her daughter, Eileen. Well, that's the Tucker Sauls story. We'll break all of that down when we get back, so stand by for it. And what he said online, which, again, reprehensible, cruel, and I'm going so far as to say it was unforgiving. And, of course, he should apologize, but he probably won't. We'll get to that shortly. Stand by. Top of the hour news coming up. Let's get first to Mark Christopher, who's in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, sir.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you're heading into Hartford right now, southbound side of 91, you got some slow traffic getting by 33 Jennings Road, and again down by exit 28 on the Hartford-Wethersfield line. Westbound 84, a little slow traffic approaching the Bulkdeer Bridge out to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound is tight, 48 Capitol Avenue into the tunnel. Looks good 291 through 84, and Route 2 eastbound also in good shape, Glastonbury into East Hartford. 9 northbound, some slow traffic, Harbor Park to the Aragoni Bridge. Sluggish again, 32 in Berlin. Up to exit 36 in New Britain. Westbound 84 is a little tight at the Mixmaster. Southbound Parkway, you've got slow traffic approaching 50 toward the West Rock Tunnel. 95 South New Haven's tight 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8 WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Rather breezy for the rest of this afternoon with clouds and even a few breaks of sunshine, along with a couple of showers. We'll head up to a high of right around 66 degrees. Then it turns out clear and cooler tonight with a low of 45. We do have a nice day in store for tomorrow with sunshine and a few afternoon clouds. The high tomorrow is 67. We do have another storm moving into the region tomorrow night. That's going to bring us an increase in clouds along with occasional rain and drizzle late at night as we head down to a low of 53. Then for Wednesday, a couple of showers in the morning. Otherwise, variable cloudiness with a high of 64. Thursday turns out breezy with clouds breaking at times for some sunshine. The high Thursday up to 60. And as we head into Friday, partly sunny and feeling much more like fall out there with a high Friday of 58. This is meteorologist Isaac Longley at the WTIC Weather Center.
There's a lot happening in Washington and in your local neighborhood. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app to keep up with the latest. WTIC is celebrating 100 years on the air and 100 years of serving Connecticut. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
62 degrees, 5 o'clock. I'm Dave Mager, WTIC 1080 News. Court documents detail some of the alleged child abuse suffered by Jacqueline Torres of Farmington before her death last year. They are disturbing. Her mother, Carla Garcia, tells police she stopped feeding the girl in the weeks before the 11-year-old's death last year. The victim was also often restrained with zip ties as punishment. Jacqueline's remains were found by police almost 2 weeks ago in a New Britain backyard. Garcia and her boyfriend, Jonathan Nanita, are in custody facing murder and other charges. The U.S. Appeals Court allowing the Trump administration to move forward with deploying National Guard troops to Portland, Oregon, that city falsely described as a war zone by the president. The ruling lifts a block on that deployment by a district court. CBS legal analyst Jessica Levinson.
We have a pattern now of a number of circuit court judges saying, when we look at this question, does the president have the power to federalize the National Guard over the wishes of a state governor? The answer, generally speaking, is we defer to the president's decisions and judgment in this area.
The White House asking the Supreme Court to clear the way for troops in Chicago. The federal judge in Illinois, meantime, is asking questions about the Trump immigration crackdown in Chicago. She says she's profoundly concerned that the government is disregarding her order limiting the use of tear gas on protesters. Police at Foxwoods say an incident in the Fox Tower has been resolved. One person allegedly restrained two others in a hotel room this morning. They were released. There was a large police presence during some sort of standoff that followed for hours. Police emphasize it was not, they say, a hostage situation. The government shutdown, now almost 3 weeks old. The House, under Speaker Mike Johnson, isn't even in session. CBS's Torian Small on Capitol Hill.
Feels like Groundhog Day on the Hill. Another week goes by, another round of press conferences. House Speaker Mike Johnson just a few moments ago leading a press conference calling out Democrats for, in his words, not passing a clean continuing resolution, something that he says is unprecedented. Again, the stakes haven't changed. Democrats are looking to center health care as a part of this conversation.
Specifically, Democrats looking to extend federal health care subsidies, which, if they run out, would cause insurance premiums to double or triple for millions of Americans. Lawmakers will return to Hartford for a special session in the middle of next month. Majority Democrats want to set money aside for programs losing federal funding. House Speaker Matt Ritter doesn't think that any state can make up for all the losses. He says they're just filling gaps for now.
Could the Democrats win back Congress next November? Sure, they could. And if that happens, then maybe there's a better negotiation and you don't see, the health care premium increases or things like that. And so we may not need the money we put aside. I'd be the happiest guy in the world if the money we put aside was not needed. And then if the money's not needed, you can then put it back into the pension fund.
Another issue for the special session, a revamp of the housing bill that Governor Lamont vetoed. Ritter tells WTIC's Bryan and Company negotiators may be close to a deal. Governor Lamont plans to fill out the board at PURA, the utilities regulator. There are 4 new nominees, including former Republican State Rep Holly Cheeseman. Thomas Wheel of Madison is the choice for board chair. It's a shaky ceasefire in Gaza, with Israel now allowing aid to flow after an interruption as violence continues.
The Israeli army said the border crossing reopened a day after it was closed when Palestinian gunmen attacked and killed 2 Israeli soldiers. Israeli press reports said President Trump pressed hard on Israel to reopen the crossing and allow humanitarian aid into Gaza. Israel continues to control just over half of Gaza. U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff arrived in Israel to encourage the sides to move ahead with the next stage, which calls for Hamas to disarm and Israel to withdraw further.
CBS's Linda Gradstein reporting. Wall Street, the Dow was up 516 points. S&P climbed 71. The NASDAQ was up 310 as Apple closed up 4%. Sports, ALCS Game 7, Seattle at Toronto tonight. NFL, a pair of games, Tampa Bay at Detroit, Houston at Seattle. For more, check out WTIC.com. I'm Dave Maker, WTIC 1080 News.
More than a few of our patients have talked to me about their first time. Time you're probably thinking about. It's the first time that erectile dysfunction ruined the moment. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health. And if you're over 50, it's likely that you've had that first time yourself. But the good news is that if you're like most men, that first time can be the last time that ED impacts your sex life. At Northeast Men's Health, we're experts in treating ED. We've treated tens of thousands of men using protocols with success rates well over 90%. And those treatments, in most cases, have made sex great again for both them and their partners. You could even find that you're performing like you haven't in years. So if ED has been affecting your intimacy legitimacy, it's time to make the last time that happens the last time that happens. For just $99, you'll receive blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956. That's 800-930-5956. Or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 6 offices Northeast to serve you. Northeast Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
The hour that packs a punch. It's Reese on the radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
I was reading some of the comments in the chat room. This one coming from Ned. He says, so if I had a note to a bank teller, give me all your money or I will kill you, is that hate speech or a threat to human life? It's a threat to human life during a robbery. So he then goes on to say a poster or a T-shirt is not the same thing. I don't know if he actually understands the question that he's asking. So if I can help you out a little bit, Ned, let me try it this way. What Senator Anwar did was wish for the death of the President of the United States, and it is exhibited on a picture that is wishing the death on the President of the United States. When a bank robber is handing a note to the bank teller, they are not wishing the receipt of money from the till or from the safe. They are demanding it. They are threatening the individual. That's how that works. So I don't know if you understand the question that you're asking. I'm not exactly sure how you're making the association, but it is. I'm stunned that I have to explain this in this way. Dr. Anwar wishes for cholesterol to do its job and affect the president in a way that kills him. The bank robber is hoping that the threat of the note that he will take that person's life will persuade them to give them money. How these two made, I'm not understanding it, but that's my job, to make the complex understandable. I hope I did my job. So, I don't know what. As I'm reading that, I'm just trying to figure it out. Let's take another check of weather and traffic. Mark Christopher, he's in the BPS Traffic Center. I'm trying here, Mark. I'm just trying.
I know you are. Reese, thank you very much. If you're heading into Hartford right now, got delays 33 Jennings Road down to 32 A and B. Another bump down by exit 28. Northbound 91 looks real good. Cromwell through downtown up in Windsor. Westbound 84 slowing. Approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 47. Sigourney 84 eastbound. Just a little tight 48 Capitol Avenue into the tunnel. 291 through 84 okay. 2 eastbound moving well into Glastonbury. 9 northbound, you've got slow traffic as you approach the Aragodi Bridge. 9 north again. Look for slow traffic in Berlin from 32 up to the 72 interchange. We have an accident reported there in New Britain, so look out for that. If you are traveling toward Waterbury right now, westbound 84 is a little tight approaching the Bulkley Bridge. Traveling into New Haven southbound on the Parkway delays 50 down into the West Rock Tunnel, and 95 southbound slowing from 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
As we head through the rest of this afternoon, it will be rather breezy across the area. We will see clouds and even some sunny breaks out there with a couple of showers around. The temperatures will be holding nearly steady for the rest of this afternoon. Then tonight turns out mostly clear and cooler. So we head down to a low of 45. We do have a nice day in store for tomorrow with sunshine and a few passing clouds. High 67. Clouds will be back on the increase tomorrow night as another storm moves back in. That will bring some rain and drizzle late tomorrow night. So we head down to a low of 53. Then for Wednesday, a couple of showers around in the morning, otherwise clouds and even a few breaks of sunshine. Wednesday's high 64. Thursday turns out breezy with clouds and some sunshine. High Thursday 60, partly sunny on Friday. The high of 58. Right now it's 59 in Windsor Locks, 59 in Manchester, 60 degrees in Hartford. This is meteorologist Isaac Longley in the WTIC Weather Center.
At McDonald's, the delicious sausage McMuffin with egg is $3, and your favorite iced coffee in any size is $1.29 during breakfast hours. Prices and participation may vary. Join us this Sunday for Tumalo Financial, your go-to for retirement planning and taxes. Tune in to the father-son duo from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. or catch replay from 5 to 6 p.m. Tumalo Financial, retirement planning with integrity on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Hey, how'd you get your water heater fixed so fast?
Aiello Home Services, same-day plumbing. I gave them a call, and they had a plumber on their way. They even sent the plumber's real-time location, so I knew when they would be here.
Did you say same day? That's crazy.
If you need same-day plumbing, call, click, or text today and say, hello, Aiello. Call for details. Licensed for safety. HIC 628926, P10277688, S10413487, D10401465, S3308699, SM3004646, E1185643.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared,
Yes,
and they
sir.
try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
I don't even know what to say. This came from Connecticut Democrats, says the Connecticut Democrat Party. We stand with Senator Anwar and every American fighting hard to stop Trump's attacks on our people, our liberty, and our shared American values. Let me repeat that. The Democrats stand by Senator Anwar and every American fighting hard to stop Trump's attacks on our people, our liberty, and our shared American values. And the thing that they stand behind, so that we're clear, is cholesterol, do your job. Now, I said this when we were talking to Senator Jeff Gordon. I'm going to say it again to Democrats. Okay. That's your line in the sand. Then you're okay with this rhetoric. It's okay to say that because, again, you're protecting your people. I don't want to hear anything else. I don't want to hear another word from you. And I don't want to hear anybody calling my show. Can you believe they said? Nope. Can't believe it. And don't care. Because what Dr. Anwar did here, they support. Okay. As long as we understand each other. As long as we understand each other. But that's okay. I know some people are going to make some phone calls. Don't worry about it. I know there are going to be some phone calls that are made. Speaking of this rhetoric, so that we can get to it. So in Simsbury, I cannot believe, again, I'm actually doing this story because I was literally just leaving it alone because it's quite embarrassing to see people behave like this against their fellow citizen and not care about some grieving mother. So we go to this gentleman, and I'll call him that just for the sake of it. This is Tucker Sauls, a man, I would presume, the chair of the Democrat Town Committee in Simsbury, who did not have to opine about stuff that he didn't agree with. He could have just let a grieving mother vent to say what she had to say. The Board of Electors could have allowed, the Board of Selectmen, could have just allowed her to say what she had to say during Suicide Prevention Month as she was talking about the death of her daughter. For a bunch of people who scream and holler and talk about compassion. How important it is for us to be compassionate. Especially a group of people who often tell us, when it comes to the transgender community, that more and more of them are taking their own lives. And we should stand up against that. We should be fighting to help them. We should be affirming them. And here is this mother grieving the death of her daughter, Eileen. We covered it extensively here. It wasn't like people didn't know. Simsbury knew. And this is one of their own. This is somebody from that community. And so in that, when this poor mother was cut off from talking about what happened to her daughter, an 88-year-old woman named Joan Coe came up to speak on Elvira's behalf because she felt what was done to her, what was done to Elvira was wrong. And she went up there to go speak her piece. And in doing that, people were upset at the way that, again, a 80-year-old woman? 88-year-old woman, an octogenarian. What she had the audacity to go up there and say. That upset them. How dare her speak in that fashion? But I give credit. I give credit to Miss Coe. I give her props because she didn't stop.
Right. Recently, there was a First Selectman Candidate Forum chaired by the Simsbury Chamber of Commerce. First Selectman Wendy McStusis, after 6 years on the Board of Selectmen and 4 years as First Selectman, after receiving the list of questions, had to read from her prepared notes and was not comfortable to explain to the public what she did for the 4 years she was First Selectman. Wendy McStusis has shown throughout the years in her position as First Selectman that she is a control freak, insecure when conducting the meetings, and unable to speak extemporaneously. Democrat First Selectman Wendy McStusis has had the Democratic members of the Board of Selectmen meet in a caucus prior to meetings to control the dialogue of the agenda items. Residents should be aware that some members of the prior Board of Selectmen did not run for re-election due to the failed leadership of First Selectman Wendy McStusis. First Selectman Wendy McStusis has tried to control public audience with a stopwatch, controlling the time of each person and hitting the gavel while interrupting the speech after 5 minutes without prior notice. The adoption of the rules of procedure is unconstitutional, as stated by the ACLU, and its limit people's amendment to first free speech. At the September 24th Board of Selectmen meeting, First Selectman Wendy McStusis admonished me for saying her name incorrectly, as it was another unacceptable annoyance she could not tolerate. As a result of her concern, I have decided to give her a nickname, Wendy McStupid, which is easily to pronounce.
Excuse me, Joan, there is a decorum standard here.
Give it up to her. I don't care. It's a First Amendment right. And they couldn't stand it.
I don't think she liked the name.
She was not happy with the name. But the reason why Mrs. Coe was there, the reason why was because she stood up for Elvira, saying that it was wrong that people would be interrupted in that way. During Suicide Prevention Month, of all things, as she talked about the death of her daughter, and she was disrespected. So she stood up for her. 88 years old. But what Tucker Sauls here did, that was absolutely reprehensible. He went on to suggest that Elvira's statements were bigotry because she stood up about what happened to her daughter. Because she had firsthand knowledge of what her daughter was going through as a transgender girl. That she, again, witnessed that transformation and did the thing that every parent is told to do, affirm their child. She understood everything. Why? She lost a father to cancer. Her daughter did. Her daughter was trying to find her way without a dad. And in her confusion, all Elvira wanted to do was to protect her daughter, for her daughter to feel that she was secure in her transformation, whatever it was. And it only got worse. And she was attacked for it. She had DCF called on her for it. She was turned into the enemy. And only to learn miles away, hundreds of miles away, her daughter, in anguish, took her own life. And this Yahoo has the audacity to call her a bigot because of her views? With all due respect there, Piggy Sauls, where's your skin in the game? Do you have any skin in the game? Do you have any children who took their own lives due to transgenderism at all? That you are in a position to suggest that this woman is a bigot? I just want to know whether or not you actually felt any of the pain that this woman has gone through thus far. Any of the ordeals she had to suffer through or continues to suffer through, knowing that she had to bury her child. For you to call her a bigot. How dare you? This has nothing to do with your constitutional right to be a knucklehead. Have at it. But you should know better. What happened to the community of Simsbury? You're not going to protect this mother? No one's standing up for her? No one's saying something to this grown man and telling him, you might want to watch your step. You will not speak ill of this grieving mother. This woman has actually suffered enough at this point. She has been ignored. No one will cover her story in Connecticut, much less you folks. Go check in any media outlet in Connecticut and see if anybody came to the aid of this immigrant Muslim woman, which, again, I'm trying to figure out why nobody has, because she ticks off all the boxes. She's an immigrant mother with a transgender child. Are you kidding me? She should be coronated, according to half of you people. But this, allegedly, cisgendered white male called her a bigot. Well, let's go there. Tucker, I'm accusing you of Islamophobia. Isn't that what it is? Just speaking ill of Elvira Said. For you to say something that despicable about that woman after she lost a child, by you not recognizing her immigrant status, her race, her religion. You dare to cross that line to insult her online, to make those claims. Aren't those things the hallmarks of being a bigot, an Islamophobe? I thought you folks were in Simsbury and Newtown and all these other places. I thought you folks would not tolerate that kind of bigotry and racism. I thought you were above that. I thought you would never allow the words of a bigot to ever be tolerated. I thought that's who you are, but maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe it's okay for this cisgender white male to speak ill of anybody, no matter who it was. Tucker, you're going to go online and call me the N-word too, because I have the audacity to call out your white cisgender? Is that what you're going to do? Is it, when you don't agree with people, do you start calling them all types of names? Is that how you react? That you're so personally affected by a woman talking about her dead kid that you would go so far as to insult her amongst your friends? I'm still trying to figure it out, buddy. When did this happen? When did they get like this? I'm talking about men, leftist men. When did they become a bunch of wash women? Yeah, when did that happen? Huh? When did their panties get all in a bunch? When did they start taking on this feminine energy of everything being insulting to them, their feelings being hurt? They're having a good cry nowadays while they watch Diane Keaton movies. What happened to them? I mean, this guy should be playing football. But I should have figured it out that the only picture available of him is in a peach salmon-colored shirt to match the rouge in his cheeks. Oh, Piggy Smalls. I love it. I love it. I want the word to get out. Let him know. Send him a message. Tell Piggy Smalls that Reese on the Radio had something to say. I'm sure he'll get emotional. I'm sure he'll get all upset. But see, where I come from, we stand up for women. Where I come from, we don't malign them. We damn sure don't step on women who have lost children to suicide or anything else. We protect them. For some odd reason, that's not your thing. That's sad. That's sad. But I would do, in this case, what my mother would expect me to do. When you see someone insulting or attacking a woman, you stand up and you speak out and you say that we don't tolerate that. That's okay. You may be applauded in your little sewing circle with the rest of the ladies over there, but we don't play that here. So let Tucker know. By the way, we're going to see if we can get Mrs. Coe on the line either tomorrow or Wednesday. We're going to get her on the phone. Actually, it can't be Wednesday. It's got to be tomorrow because Wednesday we got Cool from Cool and the Gang on the program. But we're going to see if we can get Mrs. Coe on the program to talk to her about her new nickname and talk about all of this. Tucker, you're always invited, my friend. You're always invited. You just let me know. Just reach out to old Reese on the Radio. I got your back, okay? You come on the program. You know, maybe you can explain to me why you insult women with children who committed suicide. And let us know if there are any other type of women that you would insult. Huh? Well, maybe that's your thing. I don't know. We'll find out. Stick around. We'll take a break. More news and more views. I'm still trying to figure out, why do I still see Hispanics out in the street? Aren't you supposed to be hiding? What gives? Let's get a check of weather and traffic. Mark Christopher's in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you're heading into Hartford right now, southbound side of 91, that's a little slow, 33 down to 32 A and B. After that, you got a good ride. Just a little slow in Meriden as you approach exit 19. Northbound 91 moving well. Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound 84 tied up approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 47 Sigourney Street. Again, some slow traffic as you move between exit 45 and 43 in West Hartford. Eastbound 84, a little slowdown in the Hartford Tunnel. 291 through 84, okay. 2 eastbound moving well, Glastonbury to Marlboro. 9 northbound's a little tight from 34 in Berlin up to exit 36 in New Britain. If you're on the westbound side of 84, some slow traffic, 36 Slater Road in New Britain out to 33 in Plainville in the 72 interchange. Heading southbound on the Parkway, delays 51 into the West Rock Tunnel, and 95 southbound delays 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Well, as we head through the rest of this afternoon, it will be breezy with clouds and some sunny breaks, along with a couple of showers. We'll head up to a high of right around 66 and turning out clear and cooler tonight. So we head down to a low of 45. A nice day in store for tomorrow with sunshine and a few afternoon clouds, the high 67. We do have another storm moving in tomorrow night. That's going to bring an increase in clouds along with occasional rain and drizzle late, with a low tomorrow night down to 53. This is meteorologist Isaac Longley in the WTIC Weather Center.
There's a lot happening in Washington and in your local neighborhood. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app to keep up with the latest. And now, a WTIC news update.
58 degrees, cloudy at 5:30. I'm Dave Mager, WTIC 1080 News. Election day is November 4th, but early voting is underway in Connecticut. Your town's early voting location should be open from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. now through November 2nd. There's a search for a missing person in Tolland. Police say a call reporting a missing male came in about 2:30 this afternoon. Town manager Brian Foley says crews are searching Tolland Marsh Pond.
There's a possibility that the missing person could be in the water. So that includes drones, dive teams, boats, divers, etc.
No other details are being released. The audio from WFSB. The federal government shutdown is going on 3 weeks. Notably, furloughs are going out to 1,400 workers at the Nuclear Safety Administration. Nuclear policy expert Joe Cirincione says that means fewer people securing the U.S. arsenal.
We've had a lot of close calls in the nuclear age, and that's with a fully formed workforce taking care of it. If you lay off 80% of your workforce, you're spiking the nuclear risks. Maybe it's just 10%, maybe it's 50%, but any risk escalation in nuclear weapons is unacceptable.
Cirincione says the U.S. has 14,000 retired nuclear pits, mostly in New Mexico. State House Speaker Matt Ritter tells WTIC lawmakers will return to Hartford for a special session in the middle of next month. Majority Democrats want to set money aside for programs losing federal funding. Wall Street, the Dow was up 516, S&P climbed 71, the NASDAQ was plus 310. Sports, ALCS Game 7, Seattle at Toronto. NFL, Tampa Bay at Detroit, then Houston at Seattle. Giants coach Brian Daboll says no coaching staff changes after yesterday's historic, ugly collapse in Denver. For more, check out WTIC.com. I'm Dave Maker. WTIC 1080 News.
Yellow Home Services believes when you support your neighbors, the local community gets stronger. That's why we've partnered with Food Share for the last 15 years, donating over 20,000 pounds of food and more than 1,000 turkeys. When you call a Yellow, you're helping those in need as well. Help make a difference when you call, click, or text today and say hello, a Yellow. Call for details. Licensed for safety. HIC 628926. P102776888. S104134887. D1040145. S3308699. SM3004646. E1185643.
The Urban League of Greater Hartford is ready for Halloween with our annual Trunk or Treat, Friday, October 24th, from 4 to 6 p.m. in the Urban League parking lot, 140 Woodland Street. Save Halloween family fun, candy, treats, children's books, fresh produce distribution, a DJ, and more. Dress up is optional. No advance registration is required. Children 12 and under must be accompanied by an adult. Friday, October 24th, from 4 to 6 p.m. in the Urban League parking lot, 140 Woodland Street. Visit ulgh.org for more information.
House stealing. That's real. It's the FBI's term for thieves stealing your home's title and draining your equity. Just one fake document filed with a recorder, and scammers can own your home on paper, drain your equity, and do it all without you even knowing. Imagine waking up to a foreclosure or eviction notice. Listen to former title thief Matt Cox.
What people don't realize is the ease in which this crime can happen. I can take the deed to your house and I can transfer that deed into my name. It's a great crime, and it's happening all the time.
So how can you stop the nightmare and protect yourself? Find out if you're already a victim now at HomeTitleLock.com. Use promo code RADIO and get a 30-day free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection. A title scan to a title specialist, a $250 value. Don't wait. Go to HomeTitleLock.com now. Promo code RADIO.
The Odyssey app lets you jump back to the moments you missed from WTIC News Talk 1080. Download the free Odyssey app, search WTIC News Talk 1080, and tap earlier today to get started.
Make sure that you download the Odyssey app, and if you can't do that and you're having any trouble, don't forget, you can always go to WTIC.com or ReeseOnTheRadio.com to check out the program. So what happened was, in the beginning, I talked about my experience at the No Kings Rally in San Antonio. There appeared to be two different parades going on. It wasn't a lot of people, but there were plenty there, and they were a lot of octogenarians. So check out the opening monologue for that. It breaks down all of my experiences and the people that I spoke to there as well. Also, check out the Odyssey app so you can listen to my interview with Senator Jeff Gordon of the 35th District. We talked about Senator Dr. Saud Anwar and his post showing him wishing cholesterol to do its job as it pertains to the President of the United States. We talked about that as well. But if you want to, you can do it at any time. Just go to WTIC.com or download the Odyssey app so that you can listen. When we come back, why am I still seeing Hispanics in and around the state? I mean, everywhere I go, they're everywhere. And I was under the impression that they were supposed to hide, that they were worried about going to school, worried about going to work, worried about walking through the neighborhood. I was under the impression that if you are brown and you appear to be Hispanic, that you were supposed to be in hiding. But yet, there's hell of a lot of traffic out there. I mean, I thought I was going to be cruising down Roosevelt, but no. No, still traffic every time I get out there. And I've driven by there, and there's an awful lot of brown people around. Just going about their day. No fear on it. I thought we were supposed to see them in fear. Screaming at people, they said, during the No Kings. You better be careful, you brown person. He's going to round you up. Who are you talking about? President Trump, like he's going to come to my house? Well, honey, we better get home and clean. Sweetheart, we're having guests. The president is coming. He's coming to get us, but, we should at least show that, we care. The president's coming to get us. These people were actually saying that. There's actual words coming out of their mouth. I know people say it's like, well, Reese, you can't. They're just being hyperbolic. No, they are not. No, they are not. There's some really, really, serious people out there saying that he's going to come to your house. You know what's my favorite one? This is my favorite one. He doesn't even like you. He doesn't even know me. He doesn't. He has no idea I exist at all. He wouldn't even give you the time of day. Okay. That's what these people tell me. But it's funny to watch. It is. It's hilarious to watch. And I've got some more polling data to get to. Speaking of the No Kings and the government shutdown, stand by for that, and then I'm going to get the rest of your phone calls when that happens as well. We're looking at 7 days, ladies and gentlemen. 7 days. I'll be sitting in the nutmeg state. Can't wait. Let's get to Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, Reese. Thank you very much. Well, if you're heading into Hartford right now, you're probably doing pretty well, too. There's really not a whole lot of traffic to talk about. So westbound side of 84, we'll call it a little slow, approaching the Bothia Bridge of 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound moving well. Farmington out into the Vernon exit. Southbound 91's a brief slowdown at 32 A and B. If you are traveling 91 south in Meriden, a little tight as you approach exit 19 in Meriden. If you're traveling on the northbound side of Route 9, some slow traffic 34 up to exit 36 in New Britain. 84 westbound, a little tight between the 691 interchange and 26 in Cheshire. Slowing again as you approach the Mixmaster in Waterbury. And if you are southbound on the Wilbur Cross Parkway, a little slow traffic 50 into the West Rock Tunnel. 95 south is slowing in New Haven, 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Rather breezy for the rest of this afternoon with clouds and even a few breaks of sunshine. There will be a couple of showers around as well. The temperatures holding nearly steady. Then as we head into tonight, it turns out clear and cooler across the area. As we head down to a low of 45, we do have a pleasant day in store for tomorrow. Sunshine and a few passing afternoon clouds. The high 67, clouds back on the increase tomorrow night, along with occasional rain and drizzle late at night, low 53. And as we head into Wednesday, a few showers for the morning hours, otherwise clouds and some sunny breaks. The high of 64. Thursday turns out breezy with clouds breaking at times for sunshine. The high Thursday 60, then partly sunny Friday with a high of 58. Right now it's 57 in Farmington, 60 degrees in Windsor, and 60 in Hartford. This is meteorologist Isaac Longley in the WTIC Weather Center.
Please visit peterlbrown.com for siding, roofing, windows, and doors.
Sponsored by Progressive, we make the claim process easy so you can get back on the road in no time. It's why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive. See for yourself at progressive.com.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on a... That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With a Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Actual price will depend on product. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. And affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, hims.com/joy.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is. You know who it is. It's Reese on the Radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
Programming note again, don't forget, Kool and the Gang on Wednesday, 4 o'clock. We'll talk to them. I'm going to be calling Joan Coe, the audio you heard earlier, because whoever it was who got me the number, I think Mark C. was one of the people who got me the number. But if you know her, because that's how you had her number, can you please let her know that I'm going to call her and she doesn't freak out when she sees an odd telephone number? It was like, hey, Reese on the Radio is going to give you a call. I don't want her to see the numbers and think that I'm some weird telemarketer or something. So let her know that I am going to call her and to see if she's available. If she's not, at least I get to talk to her. I want to celebrate her for a little bit. We'll see if we can get her on the program tomorrow. And I was dead serious about that thing with the Mexicans or brown people supposed to be afraid. I saw a story in one of the New Haven newspapers talking about how everybody's cautious. They're cautious because ICE is coming. After the arrest over at the Optimo, which, by the way, I'm hearing some very, very dirty stuff about. We'll get to it. Don't worry, we'll take time. We also have some updates on Mimi. We'll talk about that as well tomorrow. Because we're finding out new information. We finally understand this whole June 21st, 2024 timeline. We understand that now. We'll get to the bottom of that. So I don't want people to think that we forgot about that. And we'll get into that. Let me play this lastly. The government shut down. We're into our third week. You may have heard Dave Mager talking about it. And usually Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, Harry Enton over at CNN will talk about the numbers as they relate to the biggest news stories. And so he laid out Donald Trump then versus Donald Trump now as it pertains to the government shutdown.
Turns out shutdowns are different the second time around when it comes to Donald Trump. Take a look here. We speak about Donald Trump shutdowns, net approval rating. We're talking 20 days into it. In 2018/2019, Donald Trump's net approval rating was already falling. The shutdown was eating into his popular support. It was down 3 points already at this particular point and would fall considerably more. It was very much on the decline. You come over to this side of the screen, This shutdown hasn't eaten into Donald Trump's support at all. His net approval rating is actually up a point in terms of his popular support. So the bottom line is this. The first shutdown during Trump's first term, 2018-2019, was hurting Donald Trump. This one is not hurting him at all. There's no real reason Donald Trump might say, at least when it comes to popular support, I want to get out of this shutdown.
Remember? That's all anyone could talk about. This is affecting him. This is Donald Trump's shutdown. This is affecting him. We tried to warn you. And it wasn't like you were listening, but we tried to warn you. And, the blame game isn't all that bad either for Donald Trump. Because I thought it was interesting that Harry Enton only gave Donald Trump's blame numbers and did not go with the Democrats, which, by the way, will be pretty evident in this report.
Turns out shutdowns are different the second time around when it comes.
What about the question of blame?
It comes down to the blame game, a game I loved to play when I was younger. Blame Trump for the shutdown a great deal. In 2018/2019, 61%, more than 3 in 5 Americans blame Trump a great deal for that particular shutdown. You come over to this side of the screen, look at this. It's a different world. It's a different world. 48% of Americans blame Trump a great deal for this particular shutdown. So it's more than 3 in 5 back in 2018/2019. It's less than half, a drop of 13 points. Again, it's no real wonder that Donald Trump, at this point, looking at the shutdown, says, you know what, it's not actually harming me politically, in large part because he's getting less of the blame.
So I figured that'd just be out there. It's out there now. And again, going to a place that you folks, you respect and you trust. Don't want to get you any Fox News numbers. I know how much they lie. So I don't want to affect you in that way. So that's why we're doing it this way. Let's go to let's go to Ralph. Hello, Ralph.
Good afternoon. I have a question for you.
What do you got?
How do you feel now that you are eligible for benefits under the Americans with Disabilities Act?
Ralph, of course, is talking about Ketanji Brown Jackson saying that African Americans voting in the Voting Rights Act should be allowed to stand because we are a disabled group. And I've said this a lot of times, Ralph. This is what I knew it was going to happen. But people, you and I laugh about this, but someone is going to find a way to rationalize that sentiment from Ketanji Brown Jackson to, one, prevent her from sounding like a complete dolt, but also to say, we can win with this. That's what it's going to be.
But Reese, this is from someone who does know what a woman is.
I know. And doesn't know what a woman is, but definitely can describe a disabled person by the color of their skin.
I personally think that's a how can I describe it, against black people, making them look stupid.
It does.
Like they're not capable of doing anything.
I had a conversation on my drive to the No Kings rally. I was in a conversation with someone, and I had to literally break down the argument of Ketanji Brown Jackson to this individual who thought I was being cruel to her. And I'll tell you, here's the thing, and why I know it won't resonate what you and I are saying here. Because the only thing that they see is that we're insulting Ketanji Brown Jackson and avoiding the fact that she is insulting black people. Like they only pay attention to the fact that she is being dragged across the carpet for her comments. But I had to walk this person down that path and say, do you understand that being angry at me for calling out her stupid claims means that you agree with the fact that black folks are disabled? And then when they actually listened to that, they went, yeah, I don't think that that's cool either. And I'm like, well, don't be mad at me for calling her out. I'm doing the thing that you should be doing. And that is saying, Ketanji, we're not handicapped folks. And really stop talking about us like that.
The thing, too, Reese, is the only reason she's there, she's a black female.
Right.
Now, and any white females that were very qualified for the Supreme Court weren't even considered. And to me, that is racism, pure and simple.
It is. It's no other way to slice it, my friend. Thank you, Ralph. I appreciate you, sir.
Have a great night.
Thank you, man. You too. You know, there was this, I don't know if you can find this. You know, someone was asking me, you know, if this was if it was Amy Comey Barrett who said it, what would be the response? And I went, the same. They would say nothing. They would celebrate her. And they would be like, really? Would they? Absolutely. Let me tell you a story. And you could go look it up. I'm certain the video is out there. Roland, you would probably look this up. We can't play the audio on the air because there's a lot of swearing in it. But it was, gosh, I got to remember the year. But it was the year that Jay-Z and Kanye did a song called N-Words in Paris. And they were out on tour. And, of course, they went to Paris, France on that tour date. And in the crowd was none other than Gwyneth Paltrow, who's a friend to both gentlemen. And she was in the front row. And she took a picture of the both of them on stage performing and tweeted out the photo as they were performing said song, N-Words in Paris. And Gwyneth Paltrow wrote the word in the tweet. Something along the effects of, you know, sort of making the association, hey, Kanye and Jay-Z are in Paris singing the song N-Words in Paris, making that sort of association, and posted it. Now, naturally, every person under the sun said, yo, she can't say that. She can't. And it should have been one of those moments where Gwyneth Paltrow was absolutely raked across the coals, admonished, until rapper Nas, or as many people know him today as Nasir Jones, was on video being asked about what Gwyneth Paltrow posted. And it killed the momentum of any protest when Nasir said, nah, man, that's the homie Gwyneth Paltrow. She can say it. I watched that and I lost my mind. I thought that the crowd would go nuts and say, Nas, you can't give permission to anybody who's white to say that word. But sure enough, he did. And they were 100% fine with it. Oh, she got a pass? No problem. Debate over. Gwyneth Paltrow can use the N-word now because she's the homie. And that's what I'm telling you. I don't know how many countless times I have to look at this and just go, you guys have a problem with me and Negro nonsense, and you ought to say a word about Gwyneth Paltrow? I mean, we're talking about like the whitest woman in America, Gwyneth Paltrow. And nobody said a word. I just went, okay, all right. Y'all don't know how to act. What am I supposed to say to that? I've never had, and ever since then, I just went, that's it. Gloves are off now. So when I saw that Ketanji Brown Jackson thing, calling folks disabled, I knew there was going to be no outrage. And conservatives couldn't do anything about it. Conservatives could have screamed all day long. The only thing they would have paid attention to is that you were attacking that black woman. And they would have allowed themselves to be called anything under the sun. Disabled, special needs, anything. Anything. That's how bad it's gotten. I just want, maybe one day, I don't know, maybe the tide will turn. People will say, yeah, man, you're not going to celebrate. Not going to celebrate me being a special needs person. You're not going to tell the world that. Can you imagine what really do-gooder liberals would do with that? If you let some of these folks get a hold of that narrative, can you imagine them just patting little boys on the head? They're there. Oh, I see it. I can see it. I see it coming. I see it. I see it all the time. People talking about arguments. What do you mean you don't agree with me? You're black. What do you mean you think that way? You're black. I've had it. It happened in 2016. Young man said that to me. So I can't believe that as a black man you say that. And I went, I'm sorry, what? Well, I'm saying you're a black person. It's hard to believe that you have that point of view. I'm sorry, but why? What? I'm not understanding. What exactly are you saying? Well, I'm just saying that, no. Come on. Spit it out. Yeah, I know I'm going to get some text messages. I know. I'm waiting for them now. They're going to start coming in. It's just like, we're not saying that. Sure you are. Okay, so wait a minute. I got a message. Let me do this real quick before we get up out of here, because I want to give you guys an update for tomorrow's show. Okay. Thank you, Mark. Mark says that Joan Coe knows that I'm calling. She's a peach. You'll love her. She holds their feet to the fire just like you. She's relentless. God bless her. I love it. Well, Joan, if you're listening, I can't wait to talk to you. If I may add, you don't look a day over 65. She is so feisty. Anyway, we'll have her on tomorrow. Hopefully we'll have her on tomorrow. I don't want to speak for her. We'll try to have her on tomorrow, but we'll have a conversation with her while I'm loading up my U-Haul trailer, which I went to go pick up today. I've got to load stuff into that, but I'm going to talk to her with my headphones on while I load it up. And we will see you guys tomorrow. We're getting closer. Are you excited, Roland, at all for me to be in the studio? We're going to be hanging out a lot.
Actually, I wish you wasn't coming here.
Really? You wish
I think your show's terrible.
Yeah, let's see if he keeps saying that when we finally win a Marconi or one of those other awards. Whatever the case may be, say how much he likes it. I can't wait till we get there, because then you're going to teach me how to take score in bowling. I'm not going to bowl. I'm just going to learn.
Oh, my gosh.
That's what I'm going to learn to do.
People have a lot of trouble with that, man.
What, scoring?
Yeah, people have a lot of trouble with that.
No kidding. I'm still trying to figure the darn thing out. I don't understand how the scoring works. I never have. Anyway, as I always say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your mind. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese on the Radio. You are going to see me in a week. Let's get to Mark Christopher. He's getting you home. He's in the BPS Traffic Center. Good day, sir.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Have a great night. This traffic report being brought to you by Columbia Implant Center in Manchester.
All righty.
All right, sir.
Hartford right now.
Ready to go.
Just like that, Monday's gone.
Yes, I know. I'm hating it. It's too damn fast.
84.
All right, see you manana.
Yes, sir.
Heading toward Middletown. That looks good. 9 in the Aragoni Bridge. Waterbury's okay. 84 and 8. Little slow traffic in New Haven. South 95, 46 down to 44. And southbound Parkway, some slow traffic moving by.
All right, everybody. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Lori. I can't believe it's already over. It's too damn fast. All right, folks, let me call Joan. I will let you guys know online whether or not she's, what the deal is. I'll let you know all about it, okay? Thank you, folks, as always. And be good to each other, as I always say. All right? I love you guys.